Hello, everyone. My name is Miles Dunklin. Alongside me, David Clark, Scott Captain, class of 1972. Will Washington, class of 09. I'm class of 2007. Welcome to Highland Park Football 2021 here, presented by Game On Sports. Guys, we are really excited to bring you guys, bring our audience coverage here of this 2021 season. Glad to be back here with our Game On Sports production truck, our crew. Glad to be back at Highlander Stadium. And David Clark, it's always exciting. The fall seems like it gets here quicker every single year, but football season's upon us again.
Yeah, it really is, Miles. It's so exciting, and this is one of those real exciting moments. You know, it's a home opener. It's we are going to have a good crowd. The band has been real lively, and the pep rally was great. People are really excited about this. You know, this is a game that almost didn't happen. So, you know, we're going to talk about that in a little bit more. But yeah, the Scots are so excited to play and really forget about what happened last week.
Yeah, Will Washington for Highland Park, they bring back a number of contributors, but as usual, they graduated a lot of their playmakers. They do bring back a couple of guys. First of all, I want to hear who you have as who you're excited to see back from last year's team.
Yeah, one of the guys that I'm most excited to see coming back this season is John Rutledge, the senior captain, wide receiver for Highland Park. We were here for his first touchdown. He had a vertical route, really showed his speed, and that's what he's been doing ever since. He can threaten the defense in so many different ways. Already scored a little bit this season. I think he's going to have a big season for the Scots offense.
What about a defender for HP you're excited to have back?
I think you have to start with George Wright. George Wright did so much for the Scots defense last year, played outside linebacker. He's great in the running game, great in the passing game, had some big-time turnovers in big situations for the Scots, so no doubt he is a leader for the Scots defense this season.
David Clark, when you look at this Scot roster, who stands out to you as who's coming back?
Well, what I'd like to focus on, Miles, are the guy with the funny hat. He's back, and we're glad of that, and that's exciting. The coordinators are back. Coach Wells, of course, is back with his sidekick, James Farnsley, and Bobby Leitner in the second year as a defensive coordinator is back. The concepts will be the same. The kids have grown up in this program. They're going to be ready to execute a game plan even on this short notice.
Will Washington, what about some of the new guys, new faces we're going to see here in 2021?
There's a few that stand out to me. One, running back Jay Cox. We've seen what he can do a little bit last week, made SportsCenter top 10 for one of his plays, but really good running back, great receiver out of the backfield. And like I said, we've already had that. I expect him to have a big season for the Scots. I think on defense, you could talk about Blake Bevins. He got in there a little bit last season, but this season he really is starting at corner. He's a big corner. Their secondary overall is bigger, so I expect him to lead the way for the Scots secondary.
And David Clark, how do you feel about some of the new faces we'll see on this HP squad?
Well, I'm excited. You know, Brendan Storer got his baptism by fire against a really outstanding ball club in South Lake Carroll Dragons, and you know, it's not like wearing a red shirt in a scrimmage. It's a little bit different when the bullets are live. So I'm excited to see how he bounces back this week. And you mentioned, you know, guys like Jay Cox and John Rutledge. These are the kind of guys that are going to help him out, and they're going to make your quarterback look good. Offensive line was tested severely last week, and I'm sure that Coach Wells and Coach Farnsley are excited to see how they bounce back as well.
Yeah, you guys mentioned certainly that loss to South Lake last week, 42-21 at the hands of the South Lake Carroll Dragons. And Coach Clark, I think you and I both have had a couple people come up to us this week and say, hey, what do you think about the Scots? Are they going to be any good this year? And a little bit of a laughable comment for those of us really paying attention to this program. But let's talk about that South Lake loss, and certainly one where the Scots maybe didn't put their best foot forward, but that was an outstanding football team and nothing to hang your head about in terms of that performance last week on national TV.
No, I'm like you, Miles. I got a lot of text messages and people wondering, you know, are the Scots going to be any good this year? What was that thing last Thursday night that they saw, and all the concerns and the red flags come up. But I tell them it's a long season, and I remind them that South Lake Carroll was in the state championship game, and they had a whole bunch of players back from last year. They were filling in with a new quarterback who executed a great game plan and did his job superbly. But kind of trying to rest assure everybody that the Scots are going to be okay.
I think so. The back of the baseball card for Randy Allen and company looks pretty good at this point. And Will Washington, I think if these players didn't have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder before, I think they certainly do now after week 1.
They definitely do. And that was one of the things they've been talking about this week is they felt like they left some plays out there. They felt like there were some drives that were actually going their way, and then they made some mistakes and didn't capitalize. So you measure yourself against the best teams. But tonight, I know they really want to show that they can play physically. That was one of the biggest things they talked about is they want to really establish the battle up front, blocking, tackling, just those simple basics, get back to that. But they believe they have a lot of talent, and it sounds like they turned the page pretty quickly.
Right, and guys, we're about to see Flowermound and Highland Park go head-to-head behind us. A crazy week, David Clark, you mentioned, coming off that South Lake loss, preparing to play Mesquite Horn, a familiar opponent. And then Wednesday, all that went out the window. We got a brand new opponent in the Jaguars behind us. Kind of uncharted territory for Randy Allen, Johnny Ringo and company, and getting a brand new opponent on a Wednesday.
You know, Highland Park coaches pride themselves on kind of outworking their opponent. They're going to have the best prep. They're going to have the best game plan. All that kind of went out of the window on Wednesday afternoon, and when it was announced that Highland Park was not playing Mesquite Horn Jaguars, and then in a space of about 45 minutes, they had another opponent. So here you go. Now you got to put together a new game plan. You're looking at a different set of films, and again, the Scots stayed late and worked a game plan. Had a run through on Thursday, and they're ready and they were fired up. And I'll tell you one thing too. The attitude of those kids, you could just see the disappointment on their faces when they thought that they weren't going to be able to play a game this week. And when just a very short turnaround, the elation that they had being able to play was just, it made me excited for them because that shows how much they want to get back in the action.
And after all the uncertainty of 2020, almost any football team on the planet right now, they're just happy to be able to play. I've talked to coaches that say our kids are happy to be able to work out because they didn't know last year if they were going to be able to work out together. And so to be able to play football, be able to come out here and celebrate all the hard work these young men have put in, I think is a great thing. So let's talk about this matchup this week with Flowermound and Highland Park. And I think you certainly have to start at that quarterback position. And between Nick Evers, who's coming into Florida, and the birthday boy today, Brennan Storr, the new quarterback for Highland Park. Compare and contrast those two guys, Will.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see. I mean, quick change. You get a 4-star quarterback committed to Florida coming in here. So that'll be a lot of fun. He's called a dual threat. I don't know that he's a true dual threat, but what I was reading about him is he can really push the ball vertically. He's got some really good footwork in the pocket. So I think it's going to be really important for the Scots defense to try to get him under pressure tonight. Don't let him get comfortable. And then Brendan Storr last week really got thrown to the Wolves playing the South Lake defense in his first varsity game and really made some plays. I'm thinking of the big one to Jay Cox, showing what he can do improving. So he likes to get going. A lot of the players say when he gets running early, that's when he's at his best. It gets him some confidence. So in the scrimmage we saw, he did a really good job spreading the football around. Last week that was a lot harder to do. So I want to see him move the ball around a little bit tonight.
David Clark, as a defensive coach, you were a defensive backs coach here at Highland Park. What kind of challenge do they have on their hands here with this quarterback, the baby Gator, Nick Evers?
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting contest in that talking to the coaches today, they don't try to out-scheme you with anything. It's not going to be anything the Scots haven't seen. It's just a very talented quarterback that can really put the ball where he wants to. And as Will said, he can throw vertically. You look at some film, and he is not afraid to air it out. The coaches are kind of, I don't know if they're going to keep it pretty plain and vanilla because they don't really know about blitz pickups and some of the things that you work on during the week. But, I'm just thinking that excitement and attitude and effort is going to pay off for the Scots big time tonight.
Well, guys, let's talk first here about the weather. Will Washington, it is a hot one out here. I made the mistake of wearing pants on this evening, and you did too, Will. But tell us about that weather.
It was a mistake. It says 93, but what I checked about 5 minutes ago, it says it feels like 100, and that sounds more like it. So, and we've always talked about it. This turf just exudes the heat, so it's even hotter on this turf right now. So really hot one. And every game that's like this, the players talk about how much the trainers all week long have really emphasized hydration, stretching, so that they really prevent cramping. So it's a hot one tonight here at Highlander Stadium.
All right, guys, let's talk about a game preview here. Some keys to the game, David Clark.
Well, I think, again, I think the Scots have got to move the ball well. I think they're going to probably rely on their running game a little bit. I think you try to get that offensive line, which was really struggled a little bit last Thursday night. You get them involved in the game by getting their running game going. I think Brennan's going to run a little bit like you saw last week too. So I think that's important to maybe take a little pressure off of your young quarterback. And I think that's going to be the key. Retain the ball, keep your defense off the field if you can, and strike when you can. And, Coach Allen is not afraid to go deep either. And Brendan's got a great arm, and he can execute it just great.
You're watching the Cavender's Boots pregame show as we're going to have the Spirit Walk going on across the street. That's back here in 2021. Will Washington, I want to get your keys to the game before we head on up to the booth and get ready for some football here tonight.
I mean, so much of what Coach Clark said, but to me, I want to see them establish dominance on the offensive line. I think that that's so crucial. I want to see the receivers block well. They took a lot of pride in that in the scrimmage. And last week just didn't execute how they wanted to up front. And then defensively, just want to see them win the physical battle. And they were in position sometimes to make tackles. So really just want to see them finish it. So really just getting back to the fundamentals and get some guys involved offensively with the football.
That's Will Washington, David Clark to my left. My name is Miles Dunklin. You've been watching the Cavender's Boots pregame show. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, the Spirit Walk, and then we'll have football here from Highlander Stadium.
Oh, say, little doggies, why don't you lay down? Lay down, little doggies, lay down.
It's not just what we wear. We are Cavenders, and this is how we live.
It's not a marketing gimmick. It's not a ploy. Your experience is seamless. I'm not moving anywhere that there's not a Sewell.
Discover our wide variety of new and certified pre-owned vehicles at Sewell Cadillac.
Since 1912, Vista Bank has proudly supported the Texas tradition of Friday Night Lights. As the winningest program in the history of Texas high school football, the Highland Park Scots know what it takes to win. Whether you're with the team, in the band, a cheerleader, or a belle, Vista Bank applauds your sacrifice and your commitment to the winning traditions of Highland Park football. Time to make your move, and we know you will because tradition never graduates. Vista Bank, people first.
With almost 100 offices across the state of Texas, and 50 of them in the DFW area alone, Capital Title is here to serve you. Made by Texans, for Texans. Capital Title is the largest independent title company in the United States. We are Dallas-born, Dallas-based, and family-owned. We support the Highland Park Scots.
Oh, say, little doggies, why don't you lay down? Lay down, little doggies, lay down.
It's not just what we wear. We are Cavenders, and this is how we live.
Determination on the field breeds determination in life. Discipline needed on the court
will be the same discipline that gets the job done. That's why Tailwater Capital is a proud supporter of the Highland Park Athletic Program, the winningest athletic program in the state of Texas. 11 Lone Star Cups, 112 state championships, and a commitment to excellence that serves its players for a lifetime. From the locker room to the boardroom, Scots find a way.
When I think Lexus, I automatically think Sewell.
When I look at a license plate that says just Lexus, I'm like, oh, that's good for you. When I see a Sewell on it, I'm like, you know what I know.
I show up and I have my crew with me. They acknowledge me and they acknowledge my children, maybe give them a high five.
You get more than you expect. You get the wow factor at Sewell.
Discover our wide variety of new and L-certified Lexus vehicles at Sewell Lexus.
That's the sound of the quickest production sports car in the world today, the Cobra.
So remarkably fast, they soon moved out of range of the camera helicopter.
My name's Carol Shelby, and performance is my business.
I'm a link in the chain. I am a link in the chain.
I am a link in the chain.
I'm 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 a link in the chain.
I am a link in the chain.
I am a link in the chain.
I'm a link in the chain.
I'm a link in the chain.
I'm a link in the chain.
I am a link in the chain. When you play one of us, you play all of us.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Highlander Stadium. My name's Miles Dunklin, high atop the press box here in Dallas, Texas. David Clark to my right. David just got finished with the Cavender's Boots pregame show down there, telling you about the heat on the field. And, boy, it's nice to be back up here in this crisp, cool press box.
Yeah, it really is, and it is very, very hot. And these early games, Will kind of mentioned it in our pregame. You've got to watch. You got to stay hydrated. It's going to be real important that the trainers kind of monitor some of these guys and make sure that they're getting lots of fluid and the old Pedialyte and all that good stuff. And it's going to be something to watch and see, because you don't want to have a player go down when you're on a drive or things are looking good just out of dehydration or cramps. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be neat, and it's a little warm as we thought, especially compared to last Thursday night at 70-degree AT&T.
We're about 12 minutes from kickoff here at Highlander Stadium between the Flowermound Jaguars and the Highland Park Scots, presented by Game On Sports. Football is next.
When it's time to ball,
is but an image of your thoughts. You lose, then you win, that's law. You pay the cost, and that's the price to be the boss. To be great, you gotta stand up when you fall.
We're underway here in 2021.
It's a time for war. I'm back for more, I'm ready.
Again in store, he escapes to the left. Back across his body, there's Jay Cox. Cox still loose, inside the 30. Jay Cox toward the pylon. Touchdown, Scots!
All right.
Brennan Storr pulls a rabbit out of his hat at AT&T Stadium.
Welcome back here to Highlander Stadium. My name is Miles Dunklin. Will Washington will be joining us from down on the field. David Clark to my right up here in the press box. They sing the Highland Park song down beneath us. And Coach, a lot of pageantry today. We're glad to have all the accoutrement of high school football back with us here in 2021. And you had an interesting fact about all of the kids that Flowermound brought here today and the transportation logistics involved.
Yeah, the Principal Gilbert we were talking before the game, and he said that they had requested space for 36 buses to come to the game, and we were kind of chuckling that we don't have any room for 36 buses. So that's going to be interesting. I know they got a very large band, and it looks like they brought all their sub-varsities and everything is here. So hopefully they found a place to park and we'll be okay somewhere. But it's a neat deal. And again, I'm so excited, and I cannot tell you how excited the kids were that they were ever having a game, because it looked like it was going to be canceled. And credit Coach Allen and Coach Ringo picking up the phone, getting aggressive, and finding an opponent that really was in the similar situation that the Scots were in. And they were able to book this game and book a home game to keep the home game for that was scheduled with Mesquite Horn. So this is exciting, and I think the kids are really excited to play and to get the taste of last week out of their mouth.
Absolutely. Highland Park last week, 42-21 was the final in that game to South Lake Carroll. Now, obviously, Coach Clark, or 45-21. Obviously, that game didn't go quite the way that the Scots wanted it to. But what do you think they learned about themselves that'll be constructive for the rest of this season?
Well, one of the things I think, and here, talking to some of the players and the coaches, is you can harp and you can talk all you want about being physical and being tough, but when you get out on the field and you're up against an opponent who is playing very, very physical football, they're playing very tough, and we mentioned during the broadcast that they're playing through the whistle. You hear coaches talk about playing through the whistle. And, you can call it dirty, you can call it aggressive, you can call it whatever, but you are getting after your opponent. And I think the Dragons really got after the Scots, and they realized where that bar is that they have to get to in order to be a successful program here in 21, because they know they're going to have to be very physical when you look at the schedule and some of the opponents down the line, especially once you get into the playoffs.
For the first time this year, we want to talk about our HP Hero of the Week, our principal, Jeremy Gilbert. And by the way, we both enjoyed chatting with him before the game. Has a special presentation for us.
Hi, Scott. It's Jeremy Gilbert here, the proud principal of Highland Park High School.
Coach David Clark, as we approach kickoff here tonight, let's talk about our picks to click. Who do you think is going to go off tonight for the Scots? Let's start with offense.
Starting with offense, I think Christian Reeves, running back, he's going to get some snaps. He's a kind of a different type of runner. We saw Jay Cox get some carries. We saw Christian get some carries too. And I think he's going to be one that is going to be pretty fired up to get out there. A little 5'8", 155-pound running back, and normally takes care of the ball very, very well. And he's a tough downhill runner. So I expect to see him do some great things tonight.
All right, what about the defensive side of the ball for the Scots?
You know, I'm looking for the Scots inside linebacker, Robert Remy, to have a big game. He is one of these physical players that Coach Leidner is counting on to step up and do a good job inside. He's a hitter. He's a leader. He's just a junior, but he's filling some big shoes from some linebackers that the Scots are trying to replace, and I think they have his attention, and I think he's going to have a big game tonight.
As both captains meeting at the middle of the field here, Highland Park getting ready to run through their flag. No inflatable for the Scots. They're just going to keep that old traditional setup for them as Flowermound came through the giant helmet on that. And I'll talk about my picks to click in this game. And I'm going to go with the quarterback, Brandon Storr. You know, Coach Clark, you look at this offense, it doesn't matter who is at the helm. They've had a lot of success with this Randy Allen offense since really he's been in town here in the Park Cities. And so you look at the talent level, certainly at Brandon Storr, his confidence level, and it's his birthday today. So what better day for Brandon Storr to go off offensively? What do you think of that call?
I love that pick, Miles. I really do. You know, he happened to be in my class when the word came down that they had a game. And from being really down to that face lighting up and that, you know, that almost like Christmas morning excitement that he had on his face was really telling for me. He wanted another crack at playing this week, and he was really fired up to do it. So I think that's a great pick, and it'll be interesting to see how the young junior is able to respond after a tough night on Thursday night.
And talking defensively here, boy, there's so many good choices. I would take Jack Curtis. I think he's just too much of the chalk pick for the Scots. Big game last week for Jack. 3 tackles for loss, a sack, a quarterback, 3 quarterback hurries, a pass breakup for Jack. But I'm going to go with Preston Taylor. Had a bunch of plays that he made last week. Rangy, athletic guy. And you look at Nick Evers and this Flowermound club. They want to go down the field, and I think certainly going to test that secondary a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's another great pick. And again, the Scots are really going to be tested with a very, very talented quarterback. And so that's going to be really a test for that secondary all the way through.
Highland Park won the toss. They elected to receive. Get a chance to get their offense firing. As we'll take a break here for the national anthem.
in the secondary because, like you said, I think they're going to be pushing vertically. So I'm looking for a Blake Bevins interception tonight. And then offensively, I ran into John Rutledge today, and basically he's pretty confident he's going to have some touchdowns. I'm just going to take his word for it. I think John Rutledge is going to get the Scots offense going tonight.
I also ran into my pick to click today. I ran into Preston Taylor over at Burger House, so he's fueled up and ready to go for this one, as the Scots offense will take the ball first. And David Clark, I asked you this about the team overall, but what do you think the offense learned last week they can take into this game?
Well, I think they learned that they're going to have to battle up front. You got to win the battle up front, and really that goes for the defense too. But you've got to win the battle up front. We've been kind of spoiled, Miles, over the last couple of years with some of the best offensive lines in Highland Park football history. And these guys are going to come into their own. Again, a lot of new faces in there, and it's really time for them to step up, and they're going to get physical and get tough, and it should be all in their hands, I think, to be able to establish a line of scrimmage for the Scots to run the ball, and it's going to be a real test for them coming off this short preparation time.
So for Highland Park, they will send a couple of reserve tailbacks back to return. That's Ben Crosdale. He scored a touchdown last week, equipped himself well in his debut for the Scots, as well as Jay Cox. He made SportsCenter last week with an outstanding catch and run from Brennan Store, as well as John Rutledge. So all 3 touchdown makers for the Scots back deep to return. For Flowermound, they are 1-0 on the season, fresh off a 30-14 defeat of Mesquite High School. And we'll see number 1, Reagan Tubbs, 6-foot senior, ready to kick it away. And he slipped and fell down right there, as this one is fielded for the Scots by David Meany. And Meany's got some nice room to run here, and he'll pick up excellent field position for the Scots at about the 38-yard line. And let's go ahead and set that Scott offensive starting lineup for you, starting with the offensive line. Big left tackle Lawson Petty, 6'4" junior. Gannon Gobert, returning contributor at left guard. Dylan Woodward gets the start today at center, number 51. Charlie Wilson, they call him Chuck, at right guard, 6'2", 280. And Grant Gibson, the captain, 6'4", 295 at right tackle. Brennan Store in the backfield, the junior, along with Christian Reeves, and they hand it to Reeves. First play of the game, Reeves right up the middle to the HP logo. Move the chains for the Scots.
Yeah, good carry. Great job up front by the offensive line, clearing a path for him. And you saw a little quickness out of Christian Reeves. My pick to click right then.
The Scott receivers in this one, they'll deploy Luke Herring, number 86, to the left, as well as John Rutledge, the A receiver. The C and Z receivers are Luke Rossley and Jackson Heiss, junior and a senior respectively. They hand it to Reeves. Flag is down. Looks like Flowermound might have lined up off sides that time. Reeves last week, 7 carries, 35 yards, 2 receptions for 10 yards. The Scots running backs carried it well last week, averaged over 4 yards a carry. It is an offsides here against Flowermound. And you know, for this Scott team, they've been so good after facing adversity. Go back to 2016, the first time they lost 2 games in the season. They went on to win the state championship, their first in 11 years. And certainly you expect that to be the case today, coming off that loss to Southlake.
Yeah, and it's in the face of a tough schedule that the Scots are facing too. So they're going to be really tested, not only in district play, but in pre-district play. So it's going to be good for the Scots, and they grew up a lot. We'll see just how much in the game tonight.
And you take a look at that schedule for the Scots, a big one as they'll take on Coppell next week, and then Rockwall at home. That is a big matchup for the Scots as well before they get into district play. First down and 5 here for Brennan Store and company. It's another handoff to Christian Reeves. And Reeves, that's what he's going to do all year long. David Clark get what is blocked for him, take care of the football, do the little things right.
Yeah, always falling forward. He's kind of reminds me of Preston Miller a little bit. He's a little guy that has great explosive speed to the line of scrimmage, and he seems to find the opening and really always seems to be falling forward, which is great to get these tough yards, like a 2nd and 1 right here. Maybe a down where coach can maybe make a long throw here.
Yep, you could dial it up here on 2nd and 1, very little risk. Instead, they hand it to Reeves off the left end. Great block out there by Gibson as Reeves picks up the 25. Check that was Lawson Petty, number 76, leading the way that time. Let's talk about that Flowermound defense. They run a 4-2-5. Ryan Brubaker and Rocco Cooper are the 2 linebackers. Tristan Maloof, Preston Lewis, Wyatt Yost, and Jake Rumsey. Rumsey, one to watch, number 43, 6'4", 240 on the defensive line. And it's Cade Harwell, Christian Clatterbaugh, Luke Browning, Carter Burns, and Colin Miller in the secondary. Scots are on the move here early. 4 receivers deployed for the Scots, and Store has plenty of time here. Now he escapes to his right, Brennan still loose, a mean stiff arm at the 25, lowers his shoulder and picks up about 7. Gannon Gobert leading the way with a nice block.
Yeah, that was a good job. Again, he kept his eyes downfield. We saw him make a big play on a scramble last week, and he kept his eyes downfield, didn't see anybody come open, and he was able to get some valuable yardage and, more importantly, avoid the sack.
There is a Flowermound defender down now. He's in the bench area, so he's not in the field of play, so technically they could resume things here, but first try to make sure we take care of the injured player. Our injury updates this year are only really positive injury updates, but they're provided by Dr. Field Scoble, who actually repaired my right labrum a year and a half ago, so we appreciate Dr. Field Scoble here in this booth.
That's great.
Shoulders feeling good, so great work, Dr. Scoble. An excellent receiver at Texas Tech was Dr. Scoble, so he knows a thing or two about the game of football. Still worried about number 43 over there, Jake Rumsey, on that far sideline, working on a hip over there. Close enough to the field of play where they're going to go ahead and have to suspend things here as Highland Park will get a free offensive huddle. Which I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the fact that Ryan Gibbs is not down there on the sideline for the Scots this week. He's at home dealing with an illness, and we want to give a quick shout out to Ryan, one of the all-time good guys here around the Park Cities, and they miss him down there in the neon hat.
Yeah, that's good. That's such a great point. He's been around Highland Park for many years now. I mean,
I've got him at 14 years at Highland Park.
He may have been one of my hires over there at the middle school way back when, but he's a great guy, and he loves his running backs this year.
Sure does.
He really is very high on what he's got to work with, and thinks they're all going to really share the load a little bit, and he's excited about their season.
So Ryan, rest up, feel better. We'll see you next week. Brennan Storr here on 2nd down and short. They throw it left side. There's John Rutledge, makes a man miss. Rutledge dragged down there at the 13. And John had a nice game last week, had a great season last year. 3 catches for 50 yards for Rutledge and a touchdown. Luke Herring with a nice block out in space.
I was just going to say, Herring really came in and with a little bit of a crack on that on the inside, probably an outside linebacker in this 4-2-5 or a safety pulled up. But yeah, great job and got a real nice play for the Scots out of that.
So HP continues to march here as they're in the Shelby American red zone. It's Storr on a design quarterback run, trying to bounce that one outside and was just tripped up. That was Tristan Malouf, got him by a shoestring.
Yeah, nice cut by Storr that time. Kind of saw a little opening in that quarterback power play and got in behind his puller. Looked like Charlie Wilson leading the way through the hole and was able to get a nice gain. And, of course, yards get tough down here inside the red zone.
This is a big first offensive drive for the Scots. They want to start feeling good about themselves here in 2021 and get ahead on the scoreboard. Storr with the handoff left side. This is Jay Cox. He stood up there at the 10, dragging the pile inside the 5. Hit there by number 2, Christian Clatterbaugh. And Jay Cox certainly equipped himself well in his debut. 82 yards via the air, nearly eclipsed the 100-yard mark. Do it all-purpose back. Also got featured on SportsCenter. That's pretty cool.
That's right. And Player of the Week, one of the offensive back Player of the Weeks. And you saw him going forward there and finishing off that run. That's always a great trait of a running back.
Scott's 1st and goal inside the 10. They hand it to Reeves, and he's in for the touchdown.
Boy, that was a great hole that time. Looked like Gobert leading the way through on the pull, and great job up front by the Scott offensive line. And Miles, all those things we talked about in the pregame were the offensive line stepping up to the test right now, and they certainly did it right there with that drive.
And our spotter Matthew Bryce telling me Ben Crosdale leading the way on that one. 2-back set. Those guys have to block well. They did so on that case, and that was a clinical first drive by the Scots. Trying to make it 7-0. Sam Heinrich was perfect on extra points last year. He was perfect on extra points Thursday night, and he's perfect on this one. Our touchdowns are provided by Bob Lilly Promotions. Pretty cool having some Hall of Fame action and on the broadcast. That drive summary, 8 plays, 62 yards, 3 minutes, 20 seconds off the clock. A couple penalties there by Flowermound as well, but that was a clinical offensive possession by the Scotties.
That really was, and that's kind of the way you draw it up as a coaching staff. We've mentioned all the things in the pregame about wanting to put some responsibility and some accountability in your offensive line's hands, and boy, they just responded extremely well. And what a great drive to open the home season here.
At first home game for HP. Another look at the touchdown. Nice block indeed by Crowsdale on the edge, number 34. Got that kick out, and then those big guys up the middle, Wilson, Woodward, and Gobert.
Gobert with the pull on that one and the kick out block. It's just a nice design play. Coach loves that down inside the 5-yard line.
Davidson Bogle sponsors our kickoffs, and they're basically the official sponsor of Jack Stone, our kickoff specialist here. Okay. Committed to Michigan State. Excited to get up to Michigan, play some Big Ten schools. Great kid is Jack Stone, and a great kickoff man, as he had some outstanding height on that one, and no choice for Flowermound, but the fair catch at Jack Stone is one of the nation's best at what he did right there.
Yeah, he really does, and again, getting it up in the air like that makes it so much easier to cover and force the offensive team back down deep in their territory. So, yeah, I'm excited to the Jack going to Michigan State. My wife is a Michigan State alum.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And so she was really excited to hear that. And, who knows? We may venture up there sometime and see him kicking up there in East Lansing.
A little Sparty love here on
the
broadcast.
Absolutely.
Our old friend Mallory Hartley, a big Michigan State fan as well. Here's quarterback Nick Evers throwing for the first time in the game. It's complete right side. Blake Bevins and some friends arrive on the scene to make the play. That catch made by number 15, Walker Mulkey. 7 catches, 104 yards last week against Mesquite for Mulkey.
Yeah, it didn't take long to see the strength of that arm right there off the bat from Nick Evers, and he just fired that 8-yard sideline route on a line.
Picked up 5 on that first play. Here he is showing off the arm strength again as they complete that one outside. Adam Rourke is there to push him out of bounds. And yep, you mentioned it. Nick Evers is one of the top quarterbacks here in the country, an Elite 11 finalist, which means he's considered one of the top dozen quarterbacks or so in the country. And he is a Baby Gator committed to Florida. First down and 10. They hand it off, and that play is blown up. Jack Curtis, the first man to him. And let's go ahead and start talking about that that defensive starting lineup. And you have to start with number 95, 6'4", 235. He's built like they're supposed to be. Grandson of a first-round pick in the NFL, Donnie Anderson, a first-round pick of the Green Bay Packers, is Curtis. He's in the defensive line with Henry Jurgovan, number 92, and Daniel Schauber, big 6'5", 230-pound senior, number 94. Second down and 11 after the tackle for loss by Curtis. Straight drop here for Evers. He's harassed immediately and down in a heap. Henry Jurgovan got the sack. Did the ball come out?
The ball came out.
Yes, it did. It's Highland Park football on the sack fumble.
That was a great play. Good hustle play. There's a penalty there on it too. So maybe that'll go against Flowermound, and Scottsy have even better field position. What a big turnover. Miles, this thing so far could not even start any better for Highland Park in responding from that loss last week, and things are going their ways. Defense with a turnover right after the offense marched the length of the field.
And that was Daniel Schauber on the recovery, number 91. Henry Jurgovan forced it. Curtis also had some nice backside pressure there, and like you said, it was a terrific start so far here by the Scots. Randy Allen couldn't draw it up any better. Great drive down the field, took up 3.5 minutes, which in today's game is a time-consuming drive.
That is so
and
true.
And then you get right back out there with the sack fumble. Scots are humming here, and we knew, we're on the inside here. We knew how good of a program this is with Highland Park, and the people that really are paying attention know that what happened last week with the Scots was not going to be indicative of the results of the rest of this campaign, and they're showing that right out of the gate here against a good 6A program in Flowermound.
You know, the Scots' pride, they suffered a big hit. The pride of the Highland Park Scots is a mighty thing, and they suffered a little bit of a hit to their pride, and they were very excited again to take the field and get a chance to to avenge that last week's game, and this has been really a great opportunity for him.
Our first quarter is provided by Bank of Texas. 7:26 left in this first quarter as HP wants to dominate this opening period as they get their offense right back out there, led by Brennan Storr. Christian Reeve already punched in a touchdown in this one, and they give it right back to Christian. He's been active so far in this one. And they love Christian Reeves. They love his ability to take care of the football, do all the little things right. We're awarded already with 5 carries, 35 yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah, and they can all catch the ball. You're going to see Cox in there now, and again, they're multifaceted, and Coach Gibbs is confident that any play they can do it. They can do it all. They're great blockers and really help the offense. Here we got a little empty
set. They go 5 wide. Storr has all day, wants to go underneath, and has his man. That's Jay Cox with running room. Cox puts a move on at the 25. He's still loose. Jay Cox will take it to the house. 46 yards. Touchdown, Scots.
That was a really interesting play. It looked like Jay was running an out route. Kind of turned it into a jerk route as he came right back to the hash mark. Brennan stayed with him the whole time and was able to get that separation just enough, and the rest of it was all on Jay Cox. He was able to make some nice moves to put that one in the end zone.
Well, if you've been watching Highland Park sub-varsity football, you knew Jay Cox's time was coming in the Scott uniform, and it looks like that time is now. He has already arrived on the scene. And it's Stone in for the extra point this time, and he'll put that one across the street into some condominiums. 2 plays, 48 yards, 29 seconds. It's already 14-0 Scots.
Yeah, what a great start to this one. We haven't played half a quarter yet. Scots have 2 scores and are dominating on both sides of the ball and really answering the call. Any critics that might have been wondering if Highland Park was going to be having an off year, whatever that means, boy, they've answered it big time against a top 6A opponent.
Kensington Vanguard sponsors our extra points, and the Scots are 2 for 2 in that department on this night. And yeah, there were some critics. There were some people on social media. I got to admit, I couldn't help myself from engaging in that conversation just a little bit with a couple of the local media people that wanted to have some commentary. Well, you know what? You don't get Highland Park down much, so they had to get their shots in while they could.
Yeah, I think people don't miss an opportunity like that, and Highland Park hadn't lost a whole lot of football games in the last 22 years, so Coach Allen has seen to that, but people don't miss an opportunity for that.
But the celebrating is over now. I think if you were rooting against the Scots, you're already seeing here that they are Highland Park in capital letters here in 2021, as they will be, I think, as long as we play Texas high school football. Jack Stone delivers another one deep. Let's check in downstairs with Will.
You guys were talking about how important it is for Highland Park to bounce back. In the last 7 seasons, Highland Park is 9-1 following a loss. That includes playoff losses, so they've been downright dominant coming out of a loss. It's just baked into the DNA of this program. There's a culture of bouncing back, flipping the page. So you can already feel it with this team in the pregame. They've turned the page. They're bringing the energy, trying to make that 10-1 following a loss.
Love it. And that's what makes Highland Park, right? I mean, this is the game of life and the game of football. You're going to have adversity. You're going to take losses. It's what you do after that bad play, after that bad game that makes you who you are. First down and 10 here for Flowermound. Inside handoff. Decent running room up the middle for the tailback. That's Peyton Porter, 21 carries, 64 yards last week. For number 31, that was Preston Taylor in there on the stop, the big 6'4" safety. Second down and 3 to go. Flowermound wants to go quickly. They throw it right side. That's caught out in space. Bevins first on the scene, and now he's loose. Down the sideline goes number 19. That's Cade Edlin. He's eventually tracked down. Terrific effort. Not the first time we've seen George Wright not give up on a play and save a touchdown.
Yeah, that's huge, and that's exactly right. And you never know when that play is going to come back and help you. If they can't punch this in, that's a huge play. What a hustle play by George. And what a great
and now early movement for Flowermound.
Yep, getting a little excited. They want to play fast after a big play. That's what a lot of these teams want to do now. They get you on a big play. They don't want you to sub. They'll get up to the line of scrimmage and just had a little false start that time.
Scots did sneak a sub in. Philip Beetrell just came in, replaced at corner. And then we just saw number 99. That's Kyle Carlson. Get in there on the defensive line as well. It's first down and goal to go here for the 12 for Nick Evers and company in the Shelby red zone. Bringing some pressure off the edge, and they did jump.
I think they flinched again.
This is the kind of thing you can't do against Highland Park, Coach Clark, and the Scots don't make a lot of mistakes. And I called a college game yesterday, a very similar situation. Maybe good athletes on one end, the other end very well coached. And my pal Greg Brandon used to be the head coach, used to succeeded Urban Meyer at Bowling Green, said, hey, you get beat a lot quicker by mistakes than you do by mismatches.
Absolutely, and the Scots really don't want to give anything up here. This would be a great stop for them.
Empty set here for Evers. He's pressured from behind by Curtis. That one way too tall for everybody. The closest man to it was Adam Rourke, and it's quickly second down and goal here from the 17.
Yeah, and you have those 2 false start penalties, and all of a sudden you are, even though you're deep in the red zone, you're behind the chains again,
right.
and it's goal to goal. So I mean, now you're getting at a 2nd and long, and Scots get a play here, and all of a sudden it's a 3rd and long and a stop, and that play by George Wright is huge.
End line to the right, made that long catch and run. They flip it. That's number 28, Braden Harvey. Well, check that. That's Kaden Jensen, the H-back. Big fella, 6'6", 245. They feel like he is going to be a Division I prospect. And talking with head coach Brian Basil, based on size alone, he certainly looks the part as Preston Taylor in there on another stop.
Yeah, I think he would be a guy you'd look at inside the red zone, and he's a big target. You mentioned 6'6", 245. They were trying to run behind him on the 2 previous false start penalties, and they just threw a little short pass to him and let him ramble down there. So big play right here for the Scots on 3rd down.
Mulkey and Edline, as well as Jensen to the right here of Nick Evers. Let's see if they go that way. They do want to go that way. Evers toward the end zone, and that's off the hands of his favorite target, Mulkey. That was a fastball from Evers, but not able to haul it in. And excellent coverage on the play by Philip Beetrell, first man off the bench on that Scott defensive backfield.
There again, Miles, what a great play by George Wright, hustling down to stop that what looked like an obvious touchdown run by Edlin, and again, a hustle play may save the Scots 4 points here.
He's had a handful of those in his career. This will be a 25-yard attempt, and it's blocked. HP got all of that one off the edge, picking up and running with it as well. And I believe that was Adam Rourke off the edge, number 9. He's had a tremendous start to his junior campaign defensively with the block.
Yeah, and again, George Wright making that hustle play saved the Scots points right there. And the Scott defense stepped up and really turned the Jaguars away, and that's a big stop, and you can see it on the sidelines. They are fired up, and Coach Leitner is really excited about bowing your neck and really playing tough right then.
And Rourke gets to put one in the turnover bucket. Turnovers sponsored by Advantage Healthcare Systems, and the Scots hope we say that name a lot here in 2021 on defense. As the Scott defense has looked excellent so far in this one. A couple takeaways, fumble recovery, and a block. And now they say delay a game. And Coach, this is always kind of a tough one for me off a turnover here. I don't think the Scott offense was not ready on the sideline. I want to get your take on this.
Well, I don't.
Coach Allen doesn't like it.
Yeah, this goes back to when they start the play clock, and,
right?
It's a change of possession, so. We see this on Saturdays and Sundays where they have a commercial, so you don't have any problem. But that was pretty quick, and that's what Coach Allen was saying. I hadn't even gotten my players on the field, and the clock was running down.
Dylan Woodward snaps it back here to Brennan Storr. They hand it to Reeves past the original line of scrimmage and more. Pickup of about 7 for Reeves. And once again, Gannon Gobert leading the way. Gobert had quietly a really nice 2020 season, getting in there for Sam Morris or whoever was out of the lineup. And Gobert's a guy they can really lean on here in 2021.
Yeah, I agree. I think he had a good season, got plenty of reps in there to see what he could do, and he's really been a force there in that left guard spot.
Lawson Petty over there on the left side. He's going to be a good one for them. That one gets past Storr, and wisely he just hops on it back at the 15. You know, if you're down 14, maybe you try to make a play. Your team's in control. Your defense is playing well. Good on the junior to not try to do too much.
Yeah, you got to get the ball first. Got to recover it and not give a possession away. But now they've got the basically 3rd and long and deep in your own territory. And never like to read Coach Allen's mind, but this is where he likes to throw a screen pass. So look for somebody, maybe just not put your quarterback in a position where he has to force a throw.
Just a 3-man front here from Flowermound as they deploy 6 defensive backs. They want to run the option with Storr. He pitches it. I believe that's Crosdale on the catch.
Yeah, good safe play then, Miles.
Crosdale.
Nothing trying to put your quarterback in way behind the sticks like that to throw one down the field. So
how about the confidence though in Brennan Storr? Put the ball in his hands there. The option is a risky play in terms of a potential turnover, but right there, obviously they feel good about Brennan's ball handling.
Yeah, they do, and they've really gone to that 2-back option play, which gives you a lead blocker too. So it's really a nice little twist going back to kind of the old wishbone days at times.
Brady Dotrieve is the deep snapper. They get it back to Jack Stone. The Michigan State commit booms this one. A spiraling job all the way to the 30. An excellent boot there by Jack.
That was high as much as it was long. What a boot. And again, you can flip the field with a guy like Jack Stone. You can put your defense in great position. I bet the Jaguars were thinking they're going to get it somewhere around midfield, and now they're back on their own 30.
53-yard boot all in the air that time by Jack. And he was highly recruited out of that kicker position. They've had some good ones here at Highland Park over the years. Professionals, certainly Nick Rose played a number of years in the NFL. Jack Stone right up there at the top of the list, the most talented guys they've had.
Daniel Sepulveda got him a Super Bowl ring.
Heck yeah. How about the Scott defense swarming there, and Daniel Shaver is flexing his muscles early.
Yeah, that Scott defensive line is playing really, really well right now, led by Captain Jack Curtis. And, Shaver's really stepped up at that nose spot. And, of course, Jurgevon he's got the good DNA for that defensive line position.
William White is checked in at outside linebacker here on the near side. Number 98. Wait, that's William. No, that's still Gallus, number 90. Tough on the play-by-play guy there, 90 and 98.
Yep.
2nd and 11, empty set here for Evers. He's pressured immediately by Curtis, and Jack got a piece of that one, I think. It was a duck and eventually knocked down the intended target there. Number 4, Grant Satterfield. And they have shown the propensity to go deep here early, Coach.
Yeah, and Satterfield ran a little wheel route, and it was a really good play call. They motioned out to try to take the defense that way, and then looks like J.T. Withers was right there on the play. Really a nice job of coverage for the Scots. 3rd and long, you got the Jaguars right where you want them.
Jaguars certainly, as advertised, have gone real quick offensively, this time taking their time as the play clock's under 10. Scott defense showing a 5-man front. They bring a little extra pressure, and they get home over the middle as that pass is too tall and likely forced by some excellent pressure dialed up there by Bobby Leidner.
Yeah, good call by Coach Leidner on the blitz up the middle. Nobody was there to pick up the blitzer and put a lot of pressure, and Nick Evers had to get rid of the ball a lot sooner than he wanted to. So Scott defense steps up big with that stop.
Kyle Carlson, the man up the middle right there, providing the pressure on Evers. And he's definitely felt it from the Scots here early in this one. He's got that quick release, and he's going to have to use it today. Jay Cox is standing at his own 26-yard line, ready to return this one. The punter, once again, is Reagan Tubbs. Another good kick here, spiraling effort, and fair catch caught by Cox at the 27-yard line. Coach, the Scots offense has looked great so far. One mistake is a snap that went between the legs of Brennan Storr. Other than that, though, they've done pretty much what they wanted to offensively.
Yeah, they're running the ball well tonight, Miles, which I think has been a huge difference. They haven't gone downfield yet, which I wouldn't be surprised they get a little field position here. They'll let Brennan Storr have a chance to throw a home run ball here. But, yeah, I think they're really getting a two-back set right now and just going to try to pound it a little bit.
Storr has all day to throw as he rolls out right. And that ball is incomplete. Looks like it was intercepted for a moment. The closest man to it was a Flowermound defender. It was, to me, like number 2, Christian Clutterbaugh there. Close to making the play. Scots with excellent balance so far, 54 rushing yards, 52 passing.
Now, that was an attempt by the Scots to have a big play there. They max protect, kept both running backs in, give Storr a chance. No one came open, and he had to roll out and try to make a play.
It's Chase McCall on the breakup, 23. Second down and 10. Just an incompletion. They run the option again. Pitching it to Reeves on the late pitch, and they'll pick up 1. Third down and 9 upcoming.
Yeah, those are kind of scary when you do it like that and you get off a rhythm there. But, again, they ran that play in the last possession where they had a lead blocker on the option, and you just got to do it on timing and take what you can. Probably Brennan would have been advised to just turn upfield and take what he can get on that.
Bo Lilly has checked in for the Scots, number 82, at slot receiver. And that's a pretty cool name to have on the roster right there, Coach Clark.
Yeah, and they're high on him. They really think he can make some plays.
Third down and 10. Empty set here for Storr. Dancing. We'll see some Brennan Storr magic here as he's lobbing this one up over the middle. It's intercepted. That one picked off by number 2, Christian Clutterbaugh.
Yeah, that was the play breaks down like that, and Brennan Storr, give him credit, he kept his eyes downfield, and he just didn't find it. No one could get open, and did a good job by the secondary for the Jaguars of staying stuck to those receivers and kind of throw it across your body up for grabs and costly turnover.
I like, though, he gets to run over to the sideline and talk to Randy Allen, maybe the all-time greatest coach in the history of Texas high school football. So you're going to make a mistake. At least you get to get coached up by the best.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And Coach Allen knows he's got a young quarterback, and now he's played 2 football games, or 1 and a quarter. So
1 in 10 minutes, yeah.
1 in 10 minutes. So he knows it's going to be a learning process, and he's got Brennan Storr is fortunate to have a great teacher.
First down and 15 after a delay of game here for Flowermound, and they run right into the pile. Let's give credit once again to the starters on the defensive line. I think they have been the best unit on the field so far. Jurgavan, Shaver, and Curtis, the defenders in the middle of that lineup. George Wright, Robert Remy, William Scrivener, Mason Gallus, all those guys contributing there on that stuff of that first running play at 2nd and 15. Beach Rolls taken over at corner here on the near side. Preston Taylor, JT Withers, and Adam Rourke also out there starting in the secondary. 2nd and 15 here for Evers. Throwing a fastball again, and once again that's dropped. Now, Coach Clark, you were around here in the time where we had Matthew Stafford on this campus, and although it might sound easier to catch the ball from a great quarterback, it actually can be a lot harder.
It really can. There's always a funny story. I don't know if it's a legend or not, but the Georgia coach, Mark Wright, called Coach Allen, said Matthew throws the ball too hard. Our receivers can't catch it. And how did your Dickinson boys, those little guys, catch the ball? And we don't want him to ease up. So Coach Allen kind of introduced the concept of they ought to all wear gloves.
Yeah.
But Matthew could really fire the ball, and sometimes it is hard to catch these things unless you're really prepared for it.
I'm privileged to live up in Denver, and they tell the legend of John Elway breaking receivers' hands, and even those guys, the best in the world, could not catch the ball from John Elway. They had to turn that a jug machine up way high to learn how to catch those rocket shots.
Yeah, you got to get used to that velocity for some of these hard-throwing quarterbacks, and it's a little bit different than you might have had in high school before.
Evers is certainly in that category, the Florida commit. It's 3rd down and forever here as he steps up right. Dual threat quarterback wants to take off across midfield. He needs the Scott 31, and he'll pick up the 38, so well shy as Robert Remy makes the play defensively. Your pick to click there.
Yeah, that was a nice play, just staying with it a little bit. It looked like they got away with a little bit of a holding penalty on that play, but the Scots end up with a stop here. The 4th down after the turnover. So let's see if they're gonna. Looks like they're gonna punt it away. And again, credit the defense with a big stop right there late here in the first quarter. That was a big stop.
Bank of Texas provides our first quarter. Just 19 ticks left here in this opening period.
Watch for a
Flowermound's going to punt it here from the logo at midfield. It's a good punt. And maybe a little bit too good there as it goes all the way into the end zone. And Highland Park will take over with 11 seconds left in this first quarter.
It's been a good, after a turnover to get a stop like that, Miles, that's a big play, and that shows how the defense is really keyed in.
Coach, I wouldn't call the goal line stop a sudden change, but really 2 sudden change opportunities there for that Scott defense, and both times really rose to the occasion. Bobby Leitner's got to be proud of his group.
Absolutely. They stepped up in facing adversity there. And I keep going back to that tackle that George Wright made, that just pure hustle play that he made, and really saved a touchdown, and the Scots defense were able to turn them away. 1st and
10. This should be the last play of the first quarter. It's a handoff to Christian Reeves, and that will do it for the opening period here at Highlander Stadium. We'll take a break and be back with the remainder of the first half.
In the end, it's not the politician that builds this country. It's the entrepreneur, carrying the world's largest economy on their shoulders, putting Americans back to work. Really, they're the only ones who ever could. We've always been the entrepreneur's bank, for the century behind and the century ahead. Vista Bank. Entrepreneurs banking entrepreneurs since 1912.
If you're looking for the definition of service, I'm sure Sewell's name is in the dictionary of service.
Discover our wide variety of new and certified pre-owned vehicles at Sewell Cadillac.
With almost 100 offices across the state of Texas and 50 of them in the DFW area alone, Capital Title is here to serve you. Made by Texans, for Texans. Capital Title is the largest independent title company in the United States. We are Dallas-born, Dallas-based, and family-owned. We support the Highland Park Scots.
Back here at Highlander Stadium, Coach David Clark, the Scots, by my count, 1-11-2 since 1998 here at Highlander Stadium. What do you think is in the secret sauce that makes Highland Park so good here at home?
I like the way you put that. It's just a comfort zone. I think, they played here since 7th grade. They've been very comfortable here. It's not the aura of the big stadium going in there. The Scots get used to this. They get used to their home surroundings and all the pageantry that is a Friday night. So it's something they're excited about for sure.
Brennan Storr not on the same page there with his outside receiver, looking there for number 86, Luke Herring. 2 receptions last week for Herring. Really prototypical X receiver. Gets down the field, athletic, deep threat. And it's kind of nice for them, Coach Clark, given that they've got Jackson Heiss, Luke Herring, some other good juniors, and Brennan Storr all coming back. So these guys are going to have a whole year to get on the same page.
Yeah, they really are, and they're going to develop that chemistry and have it for the next couple of years. That's a great point.
Quick throw right side. That's Christian Reeves. He's had an active first half, to say the least.
We talked about Coach Gibbs really singing the praises of these running backs coming out of the backfield, catching the ball. And that was just a good example right there. Real nice move there by Christian. Get up there close. big fourth down decision here. Let's see what the Scots do with a 14-point lead. And it looks like a 4th and 1 coming up. And Coach Allen has not sent the punting team out there yet.
Now they're bringing out a couple of big fellas, including Jack Curtis, number 95, and Judge Ellis, number 94, for an extra heavy set here. Let's see what they want to do. Might be a quick kick. Be on alert for that. 3 seconds left on the play clock. The Scots do want to go for it. It's Storr keeping it himself. He's got a first down and more. Storr still loose. And eventually down there at the 37. That tells you, as Crowsdale leads the way once again, some of the confidence they've got right now in this offensive line and their quarterback, Brendan Storr.
Yeah, and that's a statement play right there. You're in your own territory, and you're telling the offensive line it's 4th and 1. Go get it. And, of course, Coach Allen has in the back pocket that his defense is really playing well.
I think that shows you. I mean, Randy Allen, not the most aggressive guy out there. He's certainly not who's that guy we met from Arkansas, wants to go for it on 4th down every time. That shows you he's really confident in his group there as they throw it right side. That's Luke Rossley, and he's hit immediately. Number 9, Caleb Green, the first man on the scene to make the stop.
Yeah, that's a great play by the Jaguar defense, and really stepping up and doing what they can to get the Scots behind the chains here. Now it's 2nd and long.
A couple touchdown drives already for the Scots. 8 plays, 62 yards. 2 plays, 48 yards. Assert Asset Management sponsors those drive recaps. They have so many great people and great sponsors that make these broadcasts possible. 2nd and long here. 2nd and 14 to go from the 34. Storr rolling right. Pressure behind him. Finds his man, and that ball's incomplete. Crowsdale, the intended target there, but hit immediately. And Flowermound, after a couple of maybe a jab and then a right hook from the Scots here, they've settled into this prize fight.
Yeah, I think they have, and the Scots jumped on them early with a nice opening drive, and defense turned it over, and the Scots were able to convert. But yeah, this thing is settled in, and the Jaguar defense has really stepped up and putting the Scots in a really behind the sticks right now with a 3rd and 15. So it's time for the Scots to make a play in the passing game here, throwing down the field.
Brendan Storr has 2 receivers to each side. And they want to set the screen, and that's knocked down. Great play there for Flowermound. Number 48, Tristan Malouf with the deflection, and good thing there for the Jaguars because they had Jay Cox ready to run.
Yeah, Coach likes a screen pass on 3rd and long sometimes just to get that aggressive pass rush and kind of tame it down a little bit. So that was really a good play there by the Jaguars to get the stop, and now they got a chance to get the ball back.
Lingenfelter back deep to return here, number 6, as well as number 15, Walker Mulkey. It's another good spiraling kick here by Stone, and it'll be fair caught at the 30 by Lingenfelter. Boston Lingenfelter, that's a name for you.
That's a good name. That's a good, you said it, Miles. The Jaguars are starting to get into this game a little bit. I'm sure they were jacked up to play Highland Park.
Sure.
And on short notice, too. And, both teams kind of get this real aggressiveness out, and the Scots were able to take it the length of the field. And now the Jaguars have settled in and kind of getting back to their offensive scheme here.
Kaden Jensen, the big 6'6", 245-pound H-back, goes in motion. Nick Evers rolling right. The Florida commit wants to show off the arm strength, and he does. That's completed to the 45. And that's a throw right there. Chandler Morris might have been able to make that throw as Bevins makes the stop. But there's only a handful of guys at this level that can make a throw like that. That was big time.
On the run, a 20-yard out route, really, and that was a bullet. And, he showed it right then. He's got the arm strength to be successful.
Doesn't take a professional scout to recognize the zip on that football.
No.
They hand it off this time up the middle. George Wright, as well as William Scrivener, in on the stop. Scott's run defense has been excellent so far. 2 turnovers created, the blocked field goal and the sack fumble. really the difference in the game right now, as well as that hustle play by George Wright on that long catch and run.
Well, you can't forget about that, Miles. That's a huge play in this game right now.
2nd down and 5. Evers wants to throw. There's another bullet from the gunslinger Evans. A touch slower, and that was going the other way for 6 into the flat. But Bevins makes the stop after another first down by the Jaguars.
Yeah, outside slant. You don't see that very often, being outside like that or in the middle of the field. And, boy, he does have zip on the ball.
HP Village provides our second quarter. 8:15 left here in the second as Evers rolls to his left, throws. Oh. That one should have been intercepted, nearly picked off by George Wright. He had a couple interceptions last year as a junior, and he'll want that one back. He's a great overall athlete. Could have pulled that one in, but still good coverage.
Yeah, he will want that one back, and but what a good job underneath the coverage and getting in that passing lane like that and coming up with a PBU anyway.
2nd down and 10. Quick throw right side. Once again, the arm strength on display by Nick Evers. Mason Gallus on the coverage, but they complete another ball that maybe 1% of high school quarterbacks could complete, maybe.
Yeah, that was thrown right in between coverage, and really a great throw, and 2 guys underneath. I think Mason was underneath, and I think that was Blake on top of it. So yeah, it was a good
3rd down
and
4.
Whoa.
And a little miscommunication there for Evers, and took a little bit off that one, threw the changeup instead of the fastball. 4th down and 4 upcoming after the incompletion. And look, if you're Highland Park and Bobby Leiter, you know Nick Evers is going to make some plays. He's a spectacular talent. You just got to make enough plays defensively and maybe bend but don't break.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And you're going to see some amazing throws and some things that, like you mentioned, a normal high school quarterback don't make those throws. But you just got to keep plugging away and keep covering the way you're coached up to do. They've gone with a little man free right now, so we'll see how this works out.
4th and 4, the big H-back goes in motion. They want to throw it that way. Good block out there, 1st down and more. They needed a good block from Kaden Jensen, and they got it. Robert Remy makes the play, but not after the 1st down.
Yeah, that was a great call. They go man free and have a little motion out there, and it was they had to adjust to it, and the Scots really were just a little bit slow to adjust to that motion man.
Nice drive here by Flowermound. Maybe get themselves back in the ball game. See if the Scots can make a stop. Another handoff. And that time, good running room up the middle.
Yeah, that's probably the best running play the Jaguars have had from a handoff right there. But with Porter having a nice opening there, and he was able to get a nice gain on 1st down.
Porter, number 31, Peyton Porter, 21 carries last week, 64 yards. 2nd down and 3 to go. An early motion once again by Flowermound. And they have had the talent, certainly, to move the ball, but this has been one thing that's really set them back is a couple of pre-snap penalties.
Yeah, that's really tough. And the Scots are kind of, they have a little thing they call Charlie, and they really move around a lot. And they're making calls, and they're kind of force you to jump a little bit, get a little jumpy. And because you don't know where they're coming from. You don't know if they're coming or if they're faking it. So they've got them guessing a little bit. And again, with really limited prep, the Jaguar offensive line is kind of struggling with that movement a little bit.
2nd down and 9 to go here for Nick Evers and company. HP defense still with a 0 on the board. They want to keep that intact. That throw right side. Nice break on the ball there by Bevins, but another pitch and catch complete for the duo of Mulkey and Evers.
Again, Miles, great coverage that time by Bevins, but the ball was perfectly thrown, and a really nice pitch and catch, like you said.
Flowermound wants to go fast here in the Shelby red zone. They throw this one over the middle. That's incomplete. Boy, I feel like Evers has had a couple where he's double clutched and flirted with an interception. The Scots need to get one here.
Yeah, he really has, and again, he turned the wrong way, or running back went the wrong way on that one too for the play fake, but they've just been a step or two off, and it's a second game for them too, so they're working through some of the rough spots, but that one just didn't quite have the crispness that some of his other throws have had.
2nd down and 10. Let's see if the Scots can make another stop here in the Shelby American red zone. Got one on the other end of the field in the 1st quarter. Big pressure coming. They throw it over the middle. It's incomplete. Would have taken a superhuman effort to bring that one in. Harrison Walton bringing some pressure up the gut. And it was Mulkey, the intended target, again, couldn't quite haul that one in.
Yeah, again, a nice little chance to throw that post route. And full extension, you'll see it just couldn't quite come up with it. And nice job on the coverage by Bevins.
All right, here we go with a big 3rd down and 10. So far, the play of the game here in this Highland Park Village second quarter. 3 receivers to the right for Evers. Florida commit. Big pressure up the middle. They set up the screen. They complete it. Running room toward the goal line. Touchdown, Jaguars.
Well, that was a nice play call there. A little jailbreak screen to outside receiver coming over. Release your lineman downfield. Let the rush come. And, boy, executed perfectly. And the Jaguars are able to convert and cut this lead in half potentially.
Great drive right there by Flowermound, Coach.
Really was a good answer, then converted some big plays to do it.
Bob Lilly Promotions provides our extra points. Reagan Tubbs makes it 14-7. Let's go downstairs to Will Washington.
Guys, obviously that drive did not end the way you wanted, but one thing that stood out to me that was a real positive on that drive, side of this defense, if you're the quarterback facing them, George Wright, Preston Taylor, Adam Rourke, really doing a great job communicating down here. They saw a lot of different looks and really took away that side from the quarterback. So really good job by that side of the defense. Just got to make some adjustments the other way.
Willow Bend Mortgage Company, your home for a way better mortgage. Promotes our sideline reports. And great job, as always, by Will Washington. That drive recap. 12 plays, 70 yards by the Flowermound Jaguars. Took 3:16 off the clock. And that's Assert Capital Management sponsoring those drive recaps.
Yeah, that was a real nice answer by the Jaguars right there to get back in this game. They're kind of settled in the first quarter, and now they've really started playing well on both sides of the ball.
Extra point there by Reagan Tubbs, provided by Kensington Vanguard. Flowermound's right back in the ball game here. They get the ball to start the third quarter. We're halfway through this HP Village second quarter, and now it's HP that needs a good drive offensively.
I think it's time that they step up and answer too. They've kind of been shooting themselves in the foot lately, so we'll see. The kicker had a little bit of trouble on that first kickoff, so he almost fell over.
Reagan Tubbs this time stays upright as he boots it well deep over the head of John Rutledge. Now, that Flowermound student section getting a little rowdy over there, and heard some distinct chants over there, some not so creative ones that we've heard over the years here at Highland Park. How do you think the players feel hearing that chirping from the opposing student section?
If they could hear it, you know, I'm sure they take a little bit of offense and little fires them up a little bit. We played Flowermound in all kinds of other sports, and we played them in basketball, I know, several times, and so I mean you kind of get used to it at Highland Park. You're everybody's big game, and so that's just one of the things you have to overcome.
Screen pass complete. Jay Cox got himself out of trouble, and then still wrapped up for a loss of about 4. Now, officials all blowing their whistles here, and there's a flag down on that far side. And I think, David, you're right. You know, it sounds egotistical. It sounds self-centered to say at Highland Park, you're everybody's big game, but it's the truth. I mean, there is a perception around this Dallas-Fort Worth area that you know, people want to beat Highland Park, and it is a big game on their schedule, and they do come in here with a chip on their shoulder playing the Scots, and that's something Highland Park embraces as well.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they're the winningest team in high school football in the state of Texas. I mean,
854 and counting.
You put a victory over Highland Park on your belt, and that's impressive to anybody that follows high school football. So, yeah, it's a big game, and these kids got. You know, they didn't have a whole week to prepare to get into it, but they certainly were fired up to do it.
2nd and 14, Brendan Storer takes off. He's got a first down for HP to the 35-yard line. Little draw there as they fake the pass to the right side and had a lot of running room. Gannon Gobert having a nice game at left guard.
Yeah, that really was a nice play call, too, by Coach. It's a quarterback draw. He probably could have thrown it if one of those RPOs, but Brennan makes a really good read, and the offensive line kind of did it. What a great run. That's a great job to get back ahead of the sticks here.
And David Meany out there throwing a good block as well. We got a new quarterback. Hayden Ferguson checks in at quarterback, and I think Brennan might have lost his hat for a moment.
Yeah, that may have been the case.
1st and 10 for Hayden, and he's going to hand it off. Jay Cox had some running room and then hit immediately one of those 2 linebackers in the middle of the lineup. That was Rocco Cooper, another good name on this Flowermound team. Rocco.
That's a couple of good ones. I like what the offensive line is doing up front, Miles. That they're back. This is a good kind of a drive to answer that touchdown by the Jaguars, and I'm sure that Coach Wells and Coach Farnsley reminded them that, hey, we got off to a great start. This is no time to coast, and you got to go back and keep fighting for 4 quarters.
2nd down and 6 for the Scots. It's a design quarterback run once again here for Storr, navigating defenders, and he's dragged down there at the 45, just 1 yard short of the marker, with Lawson Petty, the big 6'4", 255 junior, leading the way.
Yeah, again, another, as you said, a called quarterback run, and they like to see Storr running the ball. He's a big guy, and he runs hard, and it was a good gain. Now it's 3rd and short. Chance for the Scots to convert.
Listed at 5'11", 185, and he runs like a guy that's 6'4", 240. He wants to run you over. He doesn't want to give up on plays. 3rd down and 1 for the Scots. And it's a design quarterback run all the way here for Storr. He's got the 1st down, move the chains.
Boy, I like the way he just hit the hole that time. He knew it was 1 yard they needed. He probably could have bounced that outside maybe and gotten a few more yards, but he also might have lost some yardage too. So that was a good job of just getting the 1st down, take what they give you, and move the chains. And Scots are on the move right now.
When they go over that 2-back set, and like you said, Ryan Gibbs done a great job coaching up these guys on blocking. And anybody that knows the modern game of football knows blocking is a huge part of that running back position.
Absolutely.
1st down and 10. Storr over the middle. It's caught, and then an immediate hit there as John Rutledge secures a pickup of 5.
Yeah, that's good to get John into the game a little bit, give him a touch, and I'm sure that's you're going to see a little bit more of that on this series here. Get your playmakers involved, and even with a short throw like that, you can turn it into a really big play. So we know what John can do. We saw it all last year, and now another senior captain stepping up in a big-time drive here for the Scots.
David Meany wide to the left. You've got Heiss, Rossley, and Rutledge to the near side, the right of Brennan Storr. They hand it off. That's Crosdale trying the middle. Hit immediately. I like the way Crosdale runs. He runs hard. He doesn't mess around. Tries to run through every single tackle, and he's got enough speed to break away if he gets in the open field.
Yeah, all 3 of these running backs are just what Coach Gibbs had advertised. They're really good downhill runners, and they can all catch. We've seen them all catch the ball. We've seen them all make good blocks, blocking for each other out of that 2-back set. So it's been really impressive to watch them in action here.
Storr wants the football here on 3rd down and 4. Throwing over the middle, and it's knocked down. Nice job up front. That was Ryan Brubaker, the middle linebacker, swatting that one, and it's decision time here for the Scotties.
Yeah, I think they'll go.
I think so too.
And that timing was off a little bit. The snap was a little bit high and left, and here comes the punt team. So shows what we know. I thought they might try to convert
take a timeout.
this. Yeah, he's going to think about this, I'm sure.
Origin Bank original with 2 convenient locations in the Park Cities. They sponsor our timeouts. That was the first one taken here in the first half. Now, be surprised if they decide to take the timeout and then punt it away either way. But if they decide to go for it, Coach, what kind of play call do you like here on a 4th down and 3?
Well, I think they'll probably come back with that 2-back set and maybe try to throw out of it off a run fake, a play fake, and try to throw that, maybe hit one of those backs that have been kicking out on the outside contained guy and let him kind of slip into the flat there for a nice little 5-yard pitch and catch. And that's always one of Coach Allen's favorite plays there out of that 2-back set on 4th when you need about 5 or 6 yards. So something like that where you can at least give them a look that they're going to run. You're going to run the ball and then do a little play action.
And it looked like they were going to bring that kicking unit out. They had both huddles going down there,
they did.
And then now they have taken the kicking unit huddle off of the field, and it's Ben Crosdale, Christian Reeves, and Brendan Storr populating the backfield here for HP.
Yeah, on the Scott defense, I mean, with that last drive, there was a live, but the Scott defense is still playing well. So you got that kind of in your back pocket if you don't convert this.
You could try to draw them off sides here. You've got 7 seconds left. It would net you a first down. Or they could quick kick it, and let's see if that's what they want to do. Storr does want to kick it, and it's a decent boot here. Needs a good Scott roll. And it takes about an average bounce. And that'll work for the Scots as Jackson Heiss downs it at the 13-yard line. Classic Randy Allen there with the quick kick.
Yeah, that really was, and I'm sure he may have been looking for something. You know, that was a check with me kind of thing, and he may have been looking for a certain set, maybe expecting the Jaguars maybe to slip a safety back in case they do punt out of that formation, and maybe coach had a play ready for that, but it's probably the conservative play to make with 2.5 minutes to go here in the first half, and Scott's got them pinned deep, and maybe get another possession out of this with a turnover or a stop here, a 4-and-out.
Nick Evers, Florida commit, ready to go back at the helm at quarterback. Evers, but it is legit.
It is legit. That's one of those, again, he stepped up to avoid the rush, rolling right, but he was able to fire that ball. His receiver, as you mentioned, did stumble over there and might have made another one of those great sideline catches.
I'll try not to just fanboy over Nick Evers' arm strength the whole game, but he's here in this first half. It's very jaw-dropping.
It's very noticeable. You can tell a guy that's a little bit special by just watching it a little bit here.
2nd and 10. The Scots bring the pressure off the edge. George Wright went past him, and now Evers slides down awkwardly. A little bit of a lost start there. Scrivener, the closest man to him, as Evers took a seat there at the 17-yard line. Timeout, Highland Park.
Yeah, that was interesting that he didn't run out of bounds and went ahead with a slide and saved a little of the clock, but the Scots are now going to burn one on defense here.
2:17 left here in this second quarter. We're going to take a timeout as well and be back with the remainder of this first half.
If you're looking for the definition of service, I'm sure Sewell's name is in the dictionary of service.
Discover our wide variety of new and certified pre-owned vehicles at Sewell Cadillac.
Back here at Highlander Stadium, I mentioned this before. Scott here since the 1998 season. Their last home loss before Frisco Lone Star a couple years back was to Denison in that 1998 season. Randy Allen's had such a tremendous run here. 23 years at Highland Park, 46 years overall in the coaching profession. Just says lots of great things about Randy Allen.
I think that's understandable.
Nick Evers over the middle, incomplete. Nice play there by George Wright. And George, I think, is a guy that needs a little bit more attention on him as a football player in terms of as a prospect than he's gotten so far.
Yeah, you saw his speed on running down a wide receiver, running for a touchdown. So that was a huge play. The Scots are going to get the ball back around midfield or so, have one timeout left, and so we'll see what they do. I mean, they love their 2-minute offense, and see how that's going to click here at the end of the half.
Tubbs again with the kick. It's a spiraling effort. Really good kick sends Jay Cox back to the 30. Cox with room to run.
Oh.
And the flag comes in. Boy, I didn't think George Wright hit the
was that. Let's see what.
And that one really hurts. I mean, that was going to be excellent field position If they call that one on George Wright, I mean, my goodness.
Oh,
there it was behind him. Okay.
Yeah, you talk about that was
beach roll there.
He just kind of outkicked his coverage that time. He just kicked it so far that they didn't have enough time to get down there and cover it. So Scott's had a chance for a really huge play, but the penalty's going to bring it back.
So that will hurt the Scots. Put too much of a damper on this effort. And if nothing else here for Coach Randy Allen, he wants to see his young quarterback execute a 2-minute offense.
Yeah, this is great training here. Again, at the end of the half, game's on the line, and you got a chance to. That was a great throw and catch right there. A nice little 11-yard gain. Scott's at the 45, so they're in good position to make some points here, get some points.
Minute 45 left on the clock here in this HP Village second quarter. Plenty of time here for Brennan Storr. Well, crossing routes. See if he can find a receiver. Now he's going to lob this one out of bounds. And smart play there by the junior. I was about to mention this earlier on the interception, but with Brennan Storr, a guy who has this ultimate confidence. If you coach Brett Favre, you watch Brett Favre, you want the good things, you're going to have to live with the occasional bad as well, and that's just the nature of a gunslinger quarterback.
Yeah, it is, and it's the nature of the quarterback position.
Sure is.
We love you, or and you get too much credit when the team plays well, and you get too much of the blame when the team plays poorly. But I really like that maturity of throwing that ball out of bounds. That's a huge play. You don't want to take a loss. They may have to burn.
They're going to take a loss here.
Let's see if he burns one.
Design quarterback run. That's not how they drew it up. Number 44, Ryan Brubaker in the backfield that time. 1:23 left. And there's a flag down way deep here. At the 35-yard line, middle of the field. Way back behind everybody else. The back judge threw that one. It's a big call here.
Yeah, I'm just speculating, but it could have been like a defenseless receiver getting hit, something like that. Let's see if what the call is here.
It is unsportsmanlike on Flowermound, and that was a big mistake.
That's a huge mistake. That gives the Scots first down.
Ouch.
And really gives a new lease on life here as we're winding down the first half. Really a great chance for the Scots to get points.
And you could tell the guilty party there because he was immediately summoned to the sideline. And that was a big mistake. You put Highland Park at the 41 now with a timeout in a minute 15. That could really come back to hurt you. It would have been second down and long, as now Storr has time, surveys the field. Looking for Rutledge there, just a bit behind him, not on the same page in terms of the timing on that crossing route.
Yeah, that was a little bit step behind John as he was on a crossing route. And again, great job up front by that offensive line, giving Storr plenty of time to survey the field and pick somebody out.
We'll have the Highland Park Band and Bells, as well as our halftime show here coming up in a minute and 5 seconds on the clock. And the Army that is the Flowermound Band, right now populating that west end zone. Ball's on the ground here from Storr. Has it as he wants to go deep, and that ball is incomplete. It was nearly picked off there on the back end. Flowermound nearly had another there on the rookie QB. It was Christian Clatterball, nearly had his second in the ballgame.
Yeah, trying to give Herring a chance for a jump ball, and I don't know that he saw it very well because he didn't really go up and try to get it. So he may not have had a good position on where the ball was coming in. But sometimes you throw those jump balls and you hope your receiver can go up and get it for you. So this is a big play right here.
Scott's deploying Herring and Rutledge to the top of the screen, Rossley and Heist to the bottom. 3rd and 10. A little pressure from Flowermound. Scott's pick it up. Storr running in and out of trouble. Has a receiver wide open down the middle. They didn't see him, and instead it's incomplete. Rossley was in his own zip code in the middle of the field. Instead, it'll be 4th down and 10 to go.
And I think they're going to get him for grounding.
Ouch.
That hurts. That's just loss of down, so Scots won't get that one back. It'll be 4th down and 4th and 10.
That might be one for the young QB right there, realizing, hey, the pocket was clean, and no reason to kind of run around there, even though that is his nature.
Yeah. Now they're going to have to punt it away here with 48 seconds left, and boy, that's a wasted opportunity there. Scots did not take advantage of that field position and even the mistake in the Flowermound secondary, which gave them a real good scoring opportunity.
That was a blown coverage.
Yeah.
Certainly. There was nobody in his area. Huge kick here by Stone. Be fair caught at the 12-yard line, 13-yard line, call it. We've seen some excellent kicking in this one so far. 14-7 is our score. A bit of a choppy second quarter. Highland Park with a quick explosion of points there in that first quarter. Touchdown, turnover, touchdown. Since then, one long drive by Flowermound, and other than that, the team's kind of exchanging jabs here.
Yeah, they really haven't, and again, both teams kind of settle down. It's kind of become a defensive struggle here a little bit. They're battling each other at the line of scrimmage, and see how here with 40 seconds to go in the half.
You do have all 3 timeouts. We want to see how this first play goes. Evers. Playmaking to his left. He's pushed out of bounds. Finally over here by number 33. That was William Scrivener.
He comes up a little bit limping there, Miles. And
don't want to see that.
If you're the Jaguars, you don't want to see that. But
we've had some adventures over here on this near sideline with opposing quarterbacks over the years.
Especially with teams named Jaguars.
Yeah. Horn had some not so good memories over here.
Yeah, so that's interesting. You put the ball in the hands of your quarterback there at the end of the quarter, and that's a little more conservative. That's a little more
hand off to Peyton Porter. He's swallowed up by the Scots. Mason Gallus in there. William Scrivener as well. Scrivener had a nice first half here. As that play, I believe, will take us to halftime.
I think they would be crazy not to let it run.
Flowermound's got to feel good about themselves here in the second quarter. They'll get the ball to start the third. We'll see the Flowermound band and dance team, which means that will be our halftime show. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back to talk about that first half, preview the second half, look at first half stats, a look around the area as well. And then after that, the Highland Park band and the world famous Highland Bells. That's next here on Game On Sports.
From the excitement of Friday Night Lights to the thrill of the Texas State Fair, traditions are what unite us as Texans. For over 2 generations, Davidson Bogle Real Estate has had the privilege of carrying on the tradition of brokering land transactions across Texas. Whether you're looking to score an investment opportunity, buy a ranch, or lease industrial space, Davidson Bogle Real Estate is the foundation to get you started. Land is our business, so let us help you build upon Texas tradition. Visit us at db2re.com to kick off your land search today. And as always, go Scots! Attention Highland Park Scots and SMU fans, football is back at Highlander and on the Hilltop. And so is your favorite neighborhood burger joint, Goff's Hamburgers. It's the same burgers, same fries, hot dogs, and chicken you loved as a kid, but now in a brand new location. Goff's is now on Mockingbird between SMU and Central Expressway. Drop in for that unmistakable charcoal grill taste. Host a private party in the back room, or hang out and enjoy the Highland Park and SMU memories hanging on the walls. Goff's Hamburgers, proud supporter of the Highland Park Scots.
Determination on the field breeds determination in life. Discipline needed on the court will be the same discipline that gets the job done. That's why Tailwater Capital is a proud supporter of the Highland Park Athletic Program, the winningest athletic program in the state of Texas. 11 Lone Star Cups, 112 state championships, and a commitment to excellence that serves its players for a lifetime. From the locker room to the boardroom, Scots find a way.
Since 1912, Vista Bank has proudly supported the Texas tradition of Friday Night Lights. As the winningest program in the history of Texas high school football, the Highland Park Scots know what it takes to win. Whether you're with the team, in the band, a cheerleader, or a bell, Vista Bank applauds your sacrifice and your commitment to the winning traditions of Highland Park football. Time to make your move, and we know you will because tradition never graduates. Vista Bank, people first.
Welcome back to Highlander Stadium. It is halftime. So Highland Park Scots up 14-7 on Flowermound. Will Washington stepping in for Miles Dunklin for a few minutes here at halftime. Here with Coach David Clark. We got a close one here at the break, Coach. What stood out to you in that first half?
Well, I tell you, I really liked the way the Scots came out, really put together a nice drive, ran the ball well, threw some short passes. They really did a good job of they were motivated to come out and play like we talked about in our pregame, and they really proved that they wanted to get that taste of last Thursday night out of their mouth, and they really started off well. But then I felt like they lost a little momentum. Defense came up with a quick turnover. The Scots converted that, and they jumped up 14 points, and it looked like maybe it was too easy, that maybe they thought they could go into coast mode. And boy, they ended up facing a Jaguar team that really they settled down, started playing well, put together a real nice drive of their own in the second quarter. And, Will, we got a ball game here at 14-7.
It's really going to test the character of this team coming off of a tough loss last week and here in the home opener. Have a little closer one than maybe they anticipated. And down on the field, Coach, really impressed with Flowermound right now. They're doing a really good job. We've talked about Nick Evers, and he's not only, we talked about in pregame, he can push the ball vertically, but he's been putting that ball in some tight windows down there. There's been times when the Scots are in position, but he's just putting it where only his receiver can get it. So what do you think the Scots need to do to try to slow him down a little?
Well, I think you've seen a little bit. They're putting a little more pressure up the middle on him, and I think that's going to be effective. You've seen a couple of times where Gallus has gotten underneath those out routes, and we saw George Wright with a deflection on one of those. So I think his success has really come with those outside receivers, and I think you're going to see more. I won't call it double coverage, but at least those outside backers are going to get more in that passing lane as much as they can. There's virtually been no outside running game from the Jaguars, so that's going to be one of those things that really I think the inside game can be stopped by the Scots inside defensive line and inside backers, and you're going to see those outside backers maybe helping more in the passing lane.
So some adjustments for the Scots. We'll see what happens. We're going to send it over to a quick video with the HP Heroes, and then we'll be back for more halftime discussion right after this.
Hi, Scots. It's Jeremy Gilbert here, the proud principal at Highland Park High School. And today with me, I have Mr. Tyler Perring, who is our theater director here at Highland Park High School. And today we are proud to recognize him as the capital title HP Hero of the Week. Mr. Perring, would you like to tell us a little bit about the exciting production of Legally Blonde that's coming to us soon?
Yeah, we are opening Legally Blonde the musical here at the high school on September 18th. We're going to run for 2 weekends. The second weekend, there's no football, so please come out and support the arts here at HP. You can find tickets if you go to the high school website and search for the Fine Arts, and the ticket link is there.
Mr. Perring, on behalf of all the Highland Park Scots, we want to thank you for all you do for our school and for our students.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. And go Scots!
That was the HP Heroes video. Cool presentation there. Coach Will Washington here with Coach David Clark at Highlander Stadium. Scots up 14-7 on Flowermound here at halftime. This is the press box where we see all the action. And this is the Madden Asset Management halftime show. Coach, let's go through some stats real quick from the first half. Flowermound actually outgained Highland Park 177 yards to 161, so definitely closer. But one of the things that stood out, Flowermound with 146 passing yards, 31 rushing yards. So Highland Park doing a good job limiting the ground game, but just they're kind of getting beat on some of these throws a little bit.
Yeah, I think they are, and again, that's where I think they're going to maybe move a man out of the box and help on those passing routes where they can get underneath some of those coverages. Look, Nick Evers, he can wing it. I mean, he can throw it. He's got a lightning fast release, so I knew he had a strong arm, and you never really know about someone's release until you actually see it. but he gets rid of it fast. And so those guys just have to have a little bitty window, and he has put it in some very tiny windows and been very impressive with their passing game, particularly to the outside receivers.
Yeah, one of the ways that I like to evaluate these quarterbacks that are top ranked from the field, because you can just see different things, is, we know he can throw vertically, but I like to see how they can throw on that sideline area, especially if you're going to be a four-star recruit going to the SEC. That's what separates these guys. They can fit it in those windows, and he's had a number of these sideline throws, even with Scott's in good position.
Yeah, and he's an athlete too. He's able to find a little window by moving around in the pocket. He can scramble well to extend plays. He's got all the tools. He's going to be a good SEC quarterback.
One thing I mentioned down there was really impressed with the side of the defense. Even on the drive they scored that had George Wright, Adam Rourke, and Preston Taylor. They did a really good job communicating. I don't think they really even went to that side on that drive. So George Wright, though, we've been saying that for a while. He needs to get more credit. He's been in on all sorts of plays. He's been in position on a lot of the passing plays. Talk about how important it is in this defense, especially playing against an offense like this, to have an outside linebacker playing that well in the passing game.
We've been so blessed here at Highland Park to have some really great playmakers at our outside linebackers position, and George is just another one. I mean, he was great last year, made some huge plays last year. I'm telling you, Will, that saving tackle on the long run, I mean, we may be talking about a 14-7 game in the fourth quarter, or at least a one-score game. And remember, the Jaguars came away with no points on that. Not 3 points, but no points. And what a hustle play. That's just a hustle play. So that was very impressive to see that.
I think we've got some highlights here from the first half of play.
Boy, I love this. Watch Gobert get up there in that hole. He's pulling from that left guard spot, running that power play. You can see him kind of go across the screen there, and that's a nice run. And Christian Reeves with a really untouched going in. Good play right here. Boy, that's a nice sack, fumble, and again, that's just great hustle there by the Scots.
See Brennan Storer here threading the needle to Jay Cox. The second game in a row, Jay Cox with a big play receiving touchdown. 2 games in a row, nearly 50 yards on both of those plays.
Yeah, that was Jurgovon with that sack and fumble play. So, yeah, Jay Cox we saw this last week a little bit, where when he gets the football in his hands, he is a force to get down, and he knows how to run in open space and really get the ball to the end zone, which you love to see as a running back. And we've mentioned before, these running backs are all great receivers, and they really did it. I think this is maybe, we'll look back and say the play of the game right here. This could be gone here. And here's number 41, George Wright, running him down, tackling him on inside the 10-yard line. And again, they come away with no points on this. Then a big play. I think it was Rourke that blocked it there, and again, turning them away without any points. So that's a huge play.
Really big play, and we've talked about it in these games over the years. Highland Park a lot of times gets big special teams plays, so that was a really good example. And we've talked a little bit about the Highland Park defense, some of the things they can do. Only allowed 7 points, so really did a good job even with this quarterback. What do you think the Highland Park offense needs to do going into the second half?
I think they need to be a little more downfield oriented. The running game looks pretty good, and I think they don't want to get away from that too much. Storer's having a little bit trouble throwing the ball down the field, and he's kind of call it happy feet or whatever. He's starting to move around a little bit quickly, I think a little bit too quickly in the pocket sometimes, and go through your progression of your reads and make sure that if the first guy's not open, don't panic, look at the next guy. And that's something that experience really will kick in, and he'll get better and better at it as the season goes on. But I think I'd like to see a little bit more of that downfield on timing. The big plays that he's made so far this season in a game and a half have been when he's broken the pocket. So I would like to see him kind of stick with Coach Allen calls the play and run the play and look for those receivers and try to get something going. I really hope they don't get away from the running game. I think the offensive line is doing a good job up front, and I think they are really making it happen. And if the Scots can keep that pressure off of Storr, then he has a better chance to find somebody open downfield.
So these are some adjustments that we want to see the Scots make. This is the Madden Asset Management halftime show. We're going to toss it to commercial real quick, and we'll be back right after this.
With almost 100 offices across the state of Texas, and 50 of them in the DFW area alone, Capital Title is here to serve you. Made by Texans, for Texans. Capital Title is the largest independent title company in the United States. We are Dallas-born, Dallas-based, and family-owned. We support the Highland Park Scots.
If you're looking for the definition of service, I'm sure Sewell's name is in the dictionary of service. The idea of caring for people, it permeates the entire organization, from the service department to the sales floor. That is exactly what I see is service at its best, first class. And for me, that's what has made me a customer for life. I will always drive a Sewell.
Discover our wide variety of new and certified pre-owned vehicles at Sewell Cadillac.
From the excitement of Friday Night Lights to the thrill of the Texas State Fair, traditions are what unite us as Texans. For over 2 generations, Davidson Bogle Real Estate has had the privilege of carrying on the tradition of brokering land transactions across Texas. Whether you're looking to score an investment opportunity, buy a ranch, or lease and Davidson Bogle Real Estate is the foundation to get you started. Land is our business, so let us help you build upon Texas tradition. Visit us at db2re.com to kick off your land search today. And as always, go Scots! Attention Highland Park Scots and SMU fans, football is back at Highlander and on the Hilltop. And so is your favorite neighborhood burger joint, Goff's Hamburgers. It's the same burgers, same fries, hot dogs, and chicken you loved as a kid, but now in a brand new location. Goff's is now on Mockingbird between SMU and Central Expressway. Drop in for that unmistakable charcoal grill taste. Host a private party in the back room, or hang out and enjoy the Highland Park and SMU memories hanging on the walls. Goff's Hamburgers, proud supporter of the Highland Park Scots.
Determination on the field breeds determination in life. Discipline needed on the court will be the same discipline that gets the job done. That's why Tailwater Capital is a proud supporter of the Highland Park Athletic Program, the winningest athletic program in the state of Texas. 11 Lone Star Cups, 112 state championships, and a commitment to excellence that serves its players for a lifetime. From the locker room to the boardroom, Scots find a way.
I drive a Sewell. It's not a marketing gimmick. It's not a ploy. They take owning a car, maintaining a car, and they make it easy. And it's how they set themselves apart. Your experience is seamless, no matter the city, no matter the department. It's the same, and it's great. I'm not moving anywhere that there's not a Sewell.
Discover our wide variety of new and certified pre-owned vehicles at Sewell Cadillac.
Welcome back to Highlander Stadium. It's the Highland Park Scots versus Flowermound, up 14-7 at the half. We've got a really good game here. Expecting a really good second half in the Madden Asset Management halftime show. It is almost time for the Highlander Band to perform along with the Highland Park Bells. So we're going to go ahead and toss it down, get you set up for the home side halftime show.
The Jaguar Marching Band would like to thank our sponsors,
Since 1912, Vista Bank has proudly supported the Texas tradition of Friday Night Lights as the winningest program in the history of Texas high school football. The Highland Park Scots know what it takes to win. Whether you're with the team, in the band, a cheerleader, your commitment to the winning traditions of Highland Park football. Time to make your move, and we know you will because tradition never graduates. Vista Bank. People first.
Ladies and gentlemen, Highland Park High School is proud to present the 2021 Highlander Band. The Highlander Band is conducted by drum major Jackson Holmes, Luke Maddox, Brandon Lee, drumline captain Avery White, color guard captain Ellie T. The Highlander Band has decided to present their 2021 march introduction entitled Sugar Rush, featuring Bernstein, Ranger, Preston Taylor, horizontal circle, property tax funding, Orange Bank, Ben Sony Media. These sponsorships provide much needed funding for our award-winning band. The Highland Band thanks you for your support.
Highland Park High School proudly presents the 2021 Highland Bells. Lieutenants from left to right are Rear Dunstan, Emily Duplo, Ava Tiffany, Chloe Walsh, and Neely Wumble. For your halftime entertainment, the Bells will perform a kick routine to Every Time We Touch.
Without you, it's
quickest production sports car in the world today, the Cobra.
So remarkably fast, they soon moved out of range of the camera helicopter.
My name's Carol Shelby, and performance is my business.
Welcome back high atop Highlander Stadium. My name is Miles Duncan. I've got Coach David Clark to my right. And Coach, first of all, before we get started in this third quarter, love the pageantry of Texas high school football. Terrific crowds on both sides, and the band and the dance teams delivered for both Highland Park and Flowermound.
Yeah, what a great halftime it was, and both drill teams and both bands did an exceptional job. And well, you know, they worked just as hard. I remember when we would practice in August, and our band would come onto the field literally right after we would leave, and I think they'd be on there all day long. So I know they put in the work, they put in the sweat, and you can see the results there as they perform at halftime.
There has been some debate on the Twitter sphere about quality of high school football programs between Texas and, let's say, California. And while you could debate that the quality of the top teams, there is no debate about the pageantry, the facilities, the overall care factor in this Texas high school football world. It really is phenomenal weekend.
Well, Friday Night Lights was all about Texas high school football, and it is something that each community gets behind, and their town and their high school team, and it's the event on Friday night. So yeah, I would think that Texas high school football is second to none.
Texas high school football certainly is king. Highland Park has been the kings of Texas high school football. Nobody has won more football games in history than Highland Park. 8:54 and counting, and they're looking for number 8:55 today. And Jack Stone gets us started in the third quarter with a very high, deep kick to the goal line. See why he's going to Michigan State to kick for Sparty, as we'll see the Scott defense start this third quarter.
Well, this will be an interesting few minutes here in this third quarter to see who will really grab the momentum here. It's kind of been back and forth with the Scots having it early, and then really Flowermound coming back and seizing the momentum there really towards the end as they kind of settled into this game, started putting some defensive stops against the Scots, and I saw the Scott offense struggle a little bit. So this will be interesting to see who grabs the momentum here in the third quarter.
Jack Curtis, Daniel Shaver, Henry Jurgovan on the defensive line, William Scrivener, Robert Remy, the middle linebackers, Mason Gallus and George Wright at the outside linebackers. As Nick Evers faked to a running back that wasn't there, now he takes it up the middle. A nice hit by George Wright, as well as Preston Taylor on the play. The Scott starters in the secondary, Blake Bevins and Adam Rourke at corner. And it's J.T. Withers getting his second start alongside Preston Taylor for the Flowermound Jaguars. Nick Evers, Peyton Porter in the backfield, Kaden Jensen, the H-back, 6'6", 245. Once again, a fake to nobody as they throw it right side. That's Cade Edline. Edline stacked up immediately by the Scots. Adam Rourke continues to impress here in his junior campaign.
Yeah, he really comes up and makes a good tackle that time and in space, and that's something I know they worked on this week, is being able to fight through a block and go up and make the tackle in the open field. So good job. Now first down for the Jaguars. They're moving the chains here. Scots need to step up.
Yep, first down Flowermound. Got two receivers to the left of Evers. This time he hands it off. There is a back there as he gives it to Peyton Porter. 6 foot, 200-pounder. He is a thumper. Robert Remy there to make the stop. 21 carries last week for Porter.
A nice gain on first down. Gives the Jaguars second and short here. Scott defense trying to walk a man out of the box to help on the outside.
They give it to Porter once again, right up the middle. He runs in to that Scott defense. Preston Taylor and George Wright there to combine on the stop. Taylor, good-sized kid himself, 6'4", 180, very athletic, varsity basketball player. Specializes, I believe, right in the top of that 1-3-1 for David Peeler.
Yeah, he does a great job.
Some things don't change around Highland Park.
No, that's true. Get an athlete up there on top that's got nice activity level, and he's very active up there. Creates a lot of turnovers.
Been a while since I've seen HP basketball, but I know about that 13 defense. They throw it over the middle. That's caught. Once again for Evers, a clean pass there to Walker Mulkey. His top target had 7 catches, 104 yards last week, and JT Withers makes the stop. But Evers and company marching here to start the third.
Boy, nice drive here by the Jags. They coming out and really putting it together, and so far so good.
Evers and group have a 1st and 10 at the 35. Play action here for Nick as he rolls to his left. He lost the football. Jack Curtis picks it up at the 45. HP has it going the other way. Unforced error by Nick Evers there.
It looked like it just slipped out of his hand, and wow, what a play. And again, Jack's right there to scoop it up. He's probably a little disappointed that he goes scoop and score. They're going to give him the turnover bucket down there on the field, and what a great play there by Jack just to pursue it. But boy, that was just Evers just losing control of it. I don't know if he was trying to pull it back or what, but nice scoop by Jack Curtis, and the Scots are in business. That's a big stop as the Jaguars were on the move.
Our third Advantage Healthcare Systems turnover by the Scott defense. They've needed all 3 as they nurse here a 7-point lead, 14-7. Man in motion, that's Jay Cox. They want to throw it to him. Need a good block out in front, and Cox stumbled, tripped over the turf monster there at the 45.
Might have had something there on that one. Rutledge had a good block. It looked like Jay was probably a little close to him trying to catch the ball. Maybe it should have been thrown not so far down the field. But Scots, it'd be nice to answer this. We get a little momentum here with the turnover. And really the Jags had put together a nice drive, and the Scots with a big stop there.
And that pass to that running back on that swing pass, a lot tougher than it looks as they go with the draw. They do hand it to Jay Cox here. He was wrapped up immediately. A nice hit by number 44, Ryan Brubaker. Needed a good open field tackle, and they got it.
Yeah, we've seen the quarterback draw, but that was a little running back draw. Scots don't run that very often. And that was a nice little play call, and it could have broken it. It was just really just one little slip there, and Jay might have been off to the races.
Jay Cox checks out here for Luke Rossley. They deploy 3 receivers to the right of Brennan Storr. It's Jackson Heiss, Rossley, and John Rutledge. Luke Herring solo out to the left. They want to throw that way. John Rutledge in the flat. Instead, they go to Heiss. A 50-50 ball, and Heiss pulled it in. That's his first reception of the season.
Yeah,
nice block out in front by Grant Gibson.
Yeah, that was a great catch. He had to go down low to get it. And again, right in traffic, Storr putting it really, only man that could catch that was Heiss. That was down low, and he went down to get it, and Scott's with a big first down.
Max Hawsey tells me he loves Jackson Heiss as that prototypical Z receiver, a true possession receiver at 6'2", 185. Also a good basketball player.
Good hooper right there.
First down and 10 on the draw. The ball is on the ground. Who got it? Looks like Highland Park based off the body language there. And between Christian Reeves and Brennan Storr, not on the same page there as the ball hit the turf.
Yeah, that's the old sprint draw play right there. And they look like they might have had something there. Just a miscommunication on the handoff there. And the ball just didn't quite get handed off right. And snap was a little wide, which created a little problem there. But
interesting right there. They got the ball in the belly of the back, just couldn't quite complete the handoff, something that would usually be bread and butter between those two.
Yeah, that was just a little bit of a mistake.
Second and 15, ball on the ground again. Storr making a play. He's got a receiver deep. There's Jackson Heiss at the 20. He hauls it in. First down, Scots. Big play made by Brennan Storr.
Boy, he really did. He comes out of the mix there, a bad snap. He has to kind of make a play on the ball, and that always throws your timing off. Gets it, makes that little, breaks that tackle, rolling right, has an open man, and he's able to throw it down there, and Heiss coming up with the catch, really going down to get it again. And boy, that's a huge play, and just a little bit of an ad-lib there by Brendan Storr.
That's where we were kind of saying a combination of Chandler and John Stephen over the years. There you saw it with his ability to extend the play. They hand it to Reeves. Not much doing for him. That met there immediately by Rocco Cooper. Now, it's interesting with this running back group, Ryan Gibbs, and once again, we want to wish Coach Gibbs all the best at home tonight. But his main fear is, how do I get all these guys the football? I've got so many talented backs. That's the anxiety right now for this group, how to spread it out between those three guys.
Well, that's a good problem to have, and he's done a good job, and Coach Allen's done a good job of spreading it out, done a lot of two-back sets like this, which really help.
Storer rolling, wanting to go deep, has a man. There's John Rutledge. He plucks it out of the air. Touchdown, Highland Park.
Boy, that's a great answer right there by the Scots. They get the turnover, go down and score. Nice little corner route to the inside receiver, John Rutledge, and the ball was thrown perfectly. John's able to go up and use those good hands of his to bring it down.
Bob Lilly Promotions brings us our touchdowns. Here you get a great replay from that Game On Sports truck as John Rutledge right in that corner near our Game On Sports truck. And Will Washington was right on top of that one. We'll have Will tell us what he saw on that one after this extra point try. Sam Heinrich is on for that PAT. It's brought to us by Kensington Vanguard. And Will, what did you see there on that corner touchdown pass to John Rutledge?
Yeah, Miles, I was right there for that touchdown. The thing that stood out to me, one, it started with the route, but two, when he got down there, you could just tell he had feel because he was focused on the ball, but he knew where he was right around the sideline. So you could tell he's practiced that a lot. Side note, he was my pick to click. I'm just throwing that out there, Miles.
I knew that was coming from Will as soon as he told me he had something after that John Rutledge touchdown. But no, I mean, that's 2 weeks in a row for John Rutledge. He'll be the chalk pick to score just about every single week. Assert Capital Management provides our drive summaries. It was a big one for Highland Park, 55 yards, 3:35 off the clock, and 7 plays. Touchdown pass to John Rutledge. Big one there for the Scots, set up by that Jack Curtis fumble recovery. And you got an interesting text message there during the break.
Ryan Gibbs, we mentioned that, is at home, and he just reminded me that I did hire him when I was the coordinator over at the middle school.
Good call.
I've had some good hires, and he's one of the best. And Coach Weber and some of those guys that I was fortunate enough to work with at the middle school, and then they've gone on to bigger and better things. And I'm really proud of them, and they're great guys and great to work with.
Huge part of the continuity of this Highland Park staff. 10 years for Max Hawsey, 5 years for Colin Stringer, 14 for Ryan Gibbs, 19 for James Farnsley, 22 for Grayson Wells, and 23 years for Randy Allen as Jack Stone does what he does best and deposits that one into the end zone for a touchback. Davidson Bogle, where land is our business. They provide those kickoffs.
Miles, this will be great. Now, again, the Scots have got the momentum here. Another good stop by the defense. Remember, the Jaguars had a nice drive, put together some first downs, and we're really on the move. Yep. So we'll see the Scots really grab that momentum with that turnover, and then the offense taking advantage of it by putting a score on the board to go back up by 2 touchdowns. So back on the hands of the defense now to keep that momentum.
1st and 10. Man in motion here for Flowermound. And they throw it underneath. That is the very large H-back. That's number 26. And that is Kaden Jensen checking in at 6'6", 245. He's a heavyweight.
Yeah, he's a load. I'm surprised they don't work him more into it and run a little bit more behind him when he's as a kick-out blocker or lead blocker. There's
2nd down and 3. Right, and nice block there by the big fella. But Highland Park, good pursuit from behind. Number 45, Harrison Walton, and doing what he does best, which is defend the run as they do move the chains. Now, one thing, Coach, you mentioned this just a moment ago, but it's the self-inflicted wounds that have really hurt Flowermound in this game offensively. A couple false starts, a couple turnovers. Otherwise, they've been just fine.
Yeah, and that just happened, that little loose fumble, which probably lack of concentration there on Evers' part a little bit. So,
man in motion again. They want to throw it deep, looking for Mulkey.
Oh.
Closest man to it was Adam Rourke, and looks like Rourke might be dinged up after that one.
Maybe
hopefully Adam's okay. He's an important guy.
Okay, yeah. That was great coverage. He was on top of that route. Good job of Rourke staying on top of it, and saw a little bit of that arm strength right there from Nick Evers as he was able to loose about a 50-yard throw right there.
Carl Williams going to check in. JT Withers will check out. Williams, a junior, 6'1", 175. Darren Easton, safety coach, tells me student of the game is Carl Williams. They throw it left side, a little bit of running room, but a nice play over there by number 31, Blake Bevins, defeating the block and making the tackle.
Yeah, that's a nice little game. They're trying to get back even with the sticks there on 2nd and long. And now the Scots have a chance to get off the field here. 3rd and about 4, it looks like. So let's see if Coach Leitner deals up a little pressure. He's been pretty stingy with it right now.
See if they bring something off the edge. Now they look like they're backing out here on 3rd down and 4. And
he may be changing here.
Evers and company counters with their own chess move. Okay. 3rd down and 4 to go. Call it a long 3 for Evers, the Florida commit. And he wants to throw right side, and that's bobbled and dropped. Had Cade Edline out there. Carl Williams in coverage. Once again, I'll give credit to Jack Curtis, who's really just an unblockable force off the edge. Makes really every throw difficult if you want to go his direction.
Yeah, and I'll give a little shout out to Coach Leitner that time. He originally called his kind of a base defensive look there on 4th and 4. And then when those Jaguars changed the play, he changed his defense, put him in the right set.
Punt here coming the way of Jay Cox. He fields it at the 20 and makes a man miss. Jay wrapped up from behind there at the 26, and Highland Park leading by 14. We'll try to add to that lead here with 4:46 left in this 3rd quarter. Coach, I would say this is our old buddy Eric Cunningham would call this maybe a championship drive time, but this is one where if you can put together a 3-4 minute drive, go 8-10 plays down the field, you can really go a long way to putting Flowermound away in this one.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. And this will be a good time to do it. The running game has been working. You've seen a few new twists there. I love the downfield throw for the score last time. That's really one of the better plays that Storer's made, and he found his reliable senior captain in the corner of the end zone.
And now Storer wants to take off. And Brennan got himself into trouble, lost his hat. Back at the 18-yard line. He'll come off for Hayden Ferguson for a moment here, but that might be another teachable moment for the rookie quarterback.
Yeah, he really kind of, again, just no one was open, and you just got to get what you can get. And he probably had a little bit around this left side if he just go and maybe run out of bounds. And but he lost his helmet again, and here comes Ferguson back in for a snap. But I'm a little worried. I watched Hope Storer is okay. He kind of limped off a little bit and kind of fell awkwardly there on that sack.
Brennan 2 touchdowns, 11 out of 20, 120 yards. They hand it off here. I believe that's Crowsdale, and Crowsdale pushed the pile to the 25-yard line. Really like the way Ben Crowsdale runs, as Christian Reeves had a nice block, and Brennan Storer's right back into the ballgame.
Yeah, he seems to always get underneath his pads, and he's going forward.
Yep.
Really does a good job of getting everything he can out of a run.
And he's an excellent blocker. He's their best blocker out of the backfield, which will keep you on the field for Highland Park and their offense. That's the key, like I said earlier, to the modern game of football. If you're a running back, you better be able to block. It's a 5 wide receiver set here as Jay Cox is split to the left for Highland Park. 3 receivers right for Brennan Storer. Just a 3-man rush. Brennan wants to go deep, launching one, looking for Rutledge, and it's incomplete. It was intercepted, but well out of bounds.
Yeah, Rutledge had gotten behind the defense there a little bit, and just the throw came up a little short. But, boy, what a good job of taking advantage of great protection that time, trying to hit a home run ball there. But, unfortunately, the Scots are going to have to kick it away now. With 3:17, it's going to be up to the defense again to get that momentum back.
I like the decision there by Brennan to throw the ball deep.
Yeah.
I think if he had gotten his feet set just a little bit more, could have gotten John Rutledge out in front of that one. Rutledge, the track star, 4th place in 5A in the 200-meter. High spiraling kick here by Jack Stone. It takes a great bounce for Flowermound back to the 50. Not what HP had in mind there, as the net will go for 25 on a kick that off the boot looked really good.
Really, he looked like a pitching wedge. Had a little too much juice on it and came back. And now I tell you what, Jaguars got great field position. You mentioned they've kind of shot themselves in the foot here on a couple of times, but it's up to the Scott defense here with this great field position for the Jags to try to put another stop. Maybe you can get another turnover.
They've already gotten 3 Advantage Healthcare System turnovers in this one. By the way, Republic Title is our 3rd quarter sponsor. Quickly moving period so far, already down to 3:08 left here in the 3rd. 5 wide receivers set. for one of the top 10 quarterbacks in America. Curtis immediately in the backfield. He wrestles him down.
How many times have you seen a defensive lineman come off a block like that and the quarterback's able to get away from him and kind of juke him? That's that athleticism that Jack Curtis brings to the party. And what a great job. And again, nice quarterback sack. And they're quickly way behind the sticks here with second and long.
Well, most defensive linemen don't have the kind of hands that Jack Curtis has. He has got big-time paws down there. I remember shaking his hand as a freshman. And that is a big, strong kid. Also a good baseball player, track and field, does it all for Highland Park. And he's been unblockable. He's in the backfield again here as they complete it over the middle. William Scrivener makes the tackle there. Sloan Investment Management sponsors all of our sacks this year. So Jack Curtis is going to get a lot of time for Sloan Investment Management.
Yeah, may give him a part-time job when this is all over with.
7.5 sacks last year. 3 in that playoff game against Frisco Independence, if you recall.
Right.
On Braylon Braxton.
And he played well last Thursday night.
Did
There's no doubt about it.
A sack and 3 tackles for loss.
He was awesome.
3rd down and 8. Evers stepping up, wants to run. He is close to the marker. Let's call that a first down for Flowermound. George Wright and Preston Taylor combined for the stop, but Evers had a nose for the marker and moves the chains.
Yeah, they went 4 wide and then sent the running back in motion. I don't know if that was a design run or not, but it's kind of a quarterback draw. If it's there, you take it. And a nice play on 3rd and long.
A couple subs here defensively. They had Kyle Carlson and Spencer Brown out there. Another quick throw right side. That's caught. Walker Mulkey into the secondary. He's got another first down. And once again, Flowermound has moved the ball when they're not shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah, another good drive. They started the second half like this and then turned it over. So Scott defense now down inside the red zone, and they're going to have to respond here.
Back in the Shelby American red zone. Handoff right side. Trying to navigate things. There is Peyton Porter. Jack Curtis makes another stop for Highland Park. You said this last week, but I mean, and I'll even compare him favorably to a tremendous player at Highland Park, a defensive MVP of the state championship game. Might be the most unblockable defensive lineman I've seen here in this modern era of Scott football. Yeah, Jack Curtis.
He really has done it all, and he's done it for several years. So, yeah, he's
Evers
been a force.
Wants to go deep. Once again, terrific coverage over there by Adam Rart.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of number 9. He's played some really good football here.
He really has. He stayed on top of that route and just really did a good job for the Scots that time. And Evers throws it away, which was a smart play because there was nothing there.
Now, Rourke, really smart. Younger brother, of course, of a Scott offensive lineman, state champion from a couple years ago. Out there as a junior and making himself known as an asset in that secondary. Big 3rd down and 7 here. George Wright feigned a blitz. Scott's in that traditional 3-4. Look for that favorite target, Walker Mulkey, at the bottom of the screen working on Rourke. They do bring the pressure. Evers to his left, being chased by Curtis toward the marker, and he'll have another first down for Flowermound, as they've done exactly what they needed to do on this drive, getting themselves back in the game. Carl Williams with the stop defensively for HP.
Yeah, the 4-star quarterback's really stepped up on this drive and taking it kind of under his control here to do what he can. 2 nice runs for first downs, and that was a big one right there to give the Jaguars 1st and goal inside the 10. So, again, he's kind of saying, this is my game, and I'm ready to take it over here. So
It's Blake Bevins down on the far side for Highland Park. Hopefully Blake will be okay. Jay Harris, longtime veteran trainer for Highland Park, on the scene. We'll take a quick break and update you on Blake's status when we come back.
If you're looking for the definition of service, I'm sure Sewell's name is in the dictionary of service.
Discover our wide variety of new and certified pre-owned vehicles at Sewell Cadillac.
Dr. Field Scoville is our official sponsor of Injury Updates, and we're going to call them our positive injury updates. And Blake Bevins walking off the field under his own power here, and we appreciate Dr. Field Scoville, an excellent football player himself. Got a couple young men in the Park Cities playing football. And once again, I'd like to thank Dr. Scoville for repairing my shoulder 2 years ago.
That's good.
Excellent guy, excellent surgeon as well over there at the Carroll Clinic. 1st and 10, rather 1st and goal from the 8 as they flex out big Kaden Jensen wide to the right. See if they want to go that way. Evers rolling to his right. Wants to throw it into the end zone, and even Kaden Jensen isn't tall enough to haul that one in. Henry Jurgovan, by the way, put Evers on his backside.
Yeah, that was a good hit right there. Nice, clean hit, and that makes your quarterback think about it the next time he gets out of the pocket like that. Nice little sprint out action, probably to get away from Jack Curtis and that defensive front, give him a little extra time. And I think he really was trying to hit Jensen, his big target in the end zone that time. So 2nd goal for the Scots to hold him here.
21 seconds left here in this 3rd quarter, brought to us by Republic Title. Big spot in the ball game. Let's see if the Scots can bow up here in the Shelby American red zone, and that's a great play right there. Harrison Walton keeps showing up in the running game. He is a downhill thumping linebacker, and he's doing his thing here.
Yeah, that was a great play, great read of the play, and jumped right in there. You can see him just go right through that gap. When the opens up, when the ocean opens up, you go right through it. So that's going to do it for the 3rd quarter.
A little bit of a stalemate there through the 2nd part of the 3rd quarter, but Highland Park gets an early score in that Republic Title 3rd quarter. Highland Park nursing a 14-point lead as we go to the 4th here at Highlander Stadium.
When I think Lexus, I automatically think Sewell.
When I look at a license plate that says just Lexus, I'm like, oh, that's good for you. When I see a Sewell on it, I'm like, you know what I know.
I show up and I have my crew with me. They acknowledge me and they acknowledge my children, maybe give them a high five.
You get more than you expect. You get the wow factor at Sewell.
Discover our wide variety of new and L-certified Lexus vehicles at Sewell Lexus.
With almost 100 offices across the state of Texas and 50 of them in the DFW area alone, Capital Title is here to serve you. Made by Texans, for Texans. Capital Title is the largest independent title company in the United States. We are Dallas-born, Dallas-based, and family-owned. We support the Highland Park Scots.
Determination on the field breeds determination in life. Discipline needed on the court will be the same discipline that gets the job done. That's why Tailwater Capital is a proud supporter of the Highland Park Athletic Program, the winningest athletic program in the state of Texas. 11 Lone Star Cups, 112 state championships, and a commitment to excellence that serves its players for a lifetime. From the locker room to the boardroom, Scots find a way.
Big potential goal line stand here for the Highland Park Scots as Nick Evers in Flowermound has entered the Shelby American red zone. Big 3rd down and goal coming up here from the 9. Empty set for Evers, the Florida commit. Highland Park brings the pressure off the edge. The throw on the slant, incomplete. Adam Rourke broke it up. Another beautiful play by the junior corner.
Boy, he timed that up perfectly. I was just kind of waiting to see if anybody was reaching for their pocket. It was close, and what a great play by Rourke. He really just timed that up, made this tackle, reached across in front, maybe got a little piece of the ball, but now they're going to have to do it again as the Jaguars line up to go for this 4th down. And, boy, the game's in the balance right now. Scots turn them away. It's a big, big stop here on 4th down.
We were just talking during the break. There's no question here for Flowermound if they're going to win this football game and upset Highland Park. They've got to score on this red zone possession here.
And they're going to take a timeout to talk about it.
By the way, we were just saying here, Adam Rourke, I think, is announcing himself as a stud in the secondary.
I think so. He has really played a great game. He has been in perfect position. and has really played the ball well. That's what you love as a coach, to watch the way he reacts when the ball's in the air, and that was a really perfect reaction to the ball.
Bank Original with 2 locations in the Park Cities. Origin Bank sponsors our timeouts. That's the first one taken here by the Jags in this second half. And Rourke, I thought, really played well against Southlake Carroll as well. He was a guy that stood out to me on that defense last week, and he led the team with 7 tackles, 4 solos. So Rourke playing well here, just a junior. And part of that good size they have in the secondary, 6'1", 185 for Adam Rourke. So big play here upcoming. What do you think the message is from Bobby Leidner?
Well, I think he's going to put a little pressure on him. I think that's been his best success here. Maybe bring someone up the middle to get in Evers' face a little bit, and then maybe go man free, or maybe have 2 over the top and man up across the front. So we'll see what he ends up doing. Bobby's really dialed it up and has really used everything on a short preparation week. You assume they're going to keep it pretty basic, but with these kids, you can dial something up that you may not have called since last November.
Evers 14 out of 27 in the game. Needs a big completion to the end zone here. 4th down and goal from the 9. Rolling to his right, pressured immediately by Curtis. The ball is completed and no chance to get to the marker there. And credit once again to Jack Curtis. Really blew up the regular route of that play. Had no chance to have that happen on schedule with that kind of pressure.
Yeah, I kind of questioned that call a little bit. I don't think he really thought he was going to get the ball. Expecting it really to, on a 4th down like that, you got to throw it across the goal line. And the Scots rallied to make a nice play, a nice tackle, and turn the Jaguars back. So big stop for the Scott defense, and really a chance now. Now you're talking about your championship drive, Miles. You can go 95 right now and put this one in the books.
Now, I'll question why also run to the side of Jack Curtis and not double him.
Yeah.
As they get an inside handoff, and Flowermound hits that one for a loss. A big play in the start of this series.
Yeah, that was, and they're trying to get something going on defense here, get the ball back for their offense, or maybe create a turnover. So they're still playing hard on defense, I think.
Christian Reeves had a nice game, 10 carries, 36 yards, and a touchdown. Also caught the ball once for 6 yards. Been a relatively modest game for both sides offensively, and an early season filling out game. 11-10 left here in this 4th quarter, presented to us by Sewell. Store from his own end zone has a wide open receiver. It was Luke Rossley, and that one was just too tall for Luke.
Just too tall, but whoa, boy, was he open. Just came open on that
wide open
post route there, and just a little bit too high. Rossley got quite a hit too that jarred that ball loose. He might have been able to come down with it had he not been hit, but boy, that was a good play call and chance for the Scots to have a huge play.
And having to go up that high, you're just way too exposed over the middle of the field like that. You're going to have people coming for your midsection right there. And Highland Park's going to take an Origin Bank timeout here. And they need a good play call on 3rd down and 11 from their own 4. And punting isn't a bad situation here, but we'll talk about that when we come back. We'll take a timeout as well. You're watching Scott Football, presented by Game On Sports.
Since 1912, Vista Bank has proudly supported the Texas tradition of Friday Night Lights. As the winningest program in the history of Texas high school football, the Highland Park Scots know what it takes to win. Whether you're with the team, in the band, a cheerleader, or a bell, Vista Bank applauds your sacrifice and your commitment to the winning traditions of Highland Park football. Time to make your move, and we know you will, because tradition never graduates. Vista Bank, people first.
Back here at Highlander Stadium, a critical 3rd down and 11 upcoming for Highland Park as they nurse a 2-touchdown lead, but have it in the shadow of their own goalpost, David Clark.
Yeah, this will be, you mentioned, a great call here. We'll see if they throw the ball, or if they do a draw play or something.
They will throw it. Store in his own end zone. Looking deep. He's got his receiver, and it's caught by Jackson Heiss at midfield. Maybe a knockout blow for the Scott offense.
Wow, what a throw and what a catch, and I think it's all coming back.
And if this is a hold, this could be a safety.
This really could be a safety.
And the flag is in the end zone.
It looks like it was thrown by the line judge over there, so maybe it was an illegal formation. False start is
procedure
what it looks like.
Call.
So that's
and that's going to wipe out a fabulous catch by Jackson Heiss, who had full extension at midfield.
Yeah, what a throw, too, by Storr. Hit him right on stride. And, again, what a good play call. Had an open receiver, and that's just unfortunate for the Scots.
Take a quick look at this replay if we can on the back end. I mean, Storr got on his back foot. You can see the arm talent the young man possesses. And Heiss selling out. Great camera shot by our Game On Sports crew in that.
Yeah, that's about 60 yards in the air right there, too. So
he's a talented young man. All right, here it is from the goal line. 4 receivers deployed. Storr has to get rid of it. Launches it deep. Way more gray jerseys than blue ones. And it's deflected harmlessly. Now, might have actually been a better outcome to pick it off right there. Right now, you're going to have to punt with a short snap on your own goal line.
Yeah, that would have been a play that would have helped the Scots if he had intercepted it. But you're right. This is a tough thing. And these are the things early in the season that you may be thinking, scratching your head, have we spent enough time on the short punt like this? Because kickers really got to be paying attention to get rid of that ball. Get rid of it as quickly as he can, because those guys are blocking first right now. They're not covering. So they're going to block and then go on the sound. So
Stone
got a chance for a return.
And it's fair caught.
Man.
Boy, I am shocked at that fair catch. Walker Mulkey had 20 yards of real estate in front of him. David Clark, that's a head scratcher for me. You want to explain that one?
As I was just saying, that when you're in that deep, when that punt formation from deep in your territory, your linemen are taught you got to block and hold till contact, and then you're going to have trouble getting down the field. And so you're going to have 20 yards on a punt like that to run it back. So Scots really catch a break that time.
Big time break. Evers and company take over at their own 48. Hand off to Peyton Porter. The thumping tailback will pick up about 8. The problem for Flowermound has not been moving the ball between the 20s. It's that Shelby American red zone that has been problematic, and give a lot of credit to Bobby Leidner's defense down there in the yellow shirt. Bobby, a friend of yours and mine. And,
he's done a great job.
Calling a great game tonight.
Yeah, his second year as defensive coordinator. He's just done a super job. He's creative. He works so hard. He knows the Highland Park system. The kids love playing for him, and he is not afraid to light you up.
2nd down and 3. Evers throwing right there at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain or a very short gain. Adam Rourke makes another stop for Highland Park, as Evers is not bashful about throwing the ball to the sideline.
No, he's not. And again, we've been saying he's got a strong arm and a quick release, which has been very, very impressive. He's 17 of 33 for 214.
Evers will keep it himself off the left edge, run into over there by Blake Bevins, who made the stop. Nice job by the senior defensive back. Quickly, we'll see number 19, Pierce Shelby, into the game. And Shelby had a nice little foray into the action last week with 2 stops and a fumble recovery. Evers rolling right, met there by Jack Curtis again. Makes a spectacular throw between the corner and the safety and completes that one for a first down.
Yeah, that's a great throw, but even a better catch.
Yep.
And again, you mentioned it, Miles. Wright, we talked about that at halftime with Will about the adjustments. They're trying to get that outside linebacker underneath those outside routes, and they did, and he threw it right over the top of them. Great throw, great catch.
Yeah, next level throw and catch there. Evers wants to sling it again. He does. Left side, Preston Taylor hits the receiver immediately. That was number 82, Jason Welch. 6'1" sophomore making the catch, as once again Flowermound is right back where they were just a few minutes ago, approaching the Shelby American red zone.
Yeah, they are. And I'm impressed with Nick Evers is just kind of taking this game over him from an offensive standpoint for Flowermound. He's just saying, I'm going to do what I can.
Wants to throw again on the corner route, and terrific coverage by the Scots. Knocked away. Is that Pierce Shelby over there? Or that might have been 16. That was Brady Dotrieve.
Yeah, Dotrieve is who
Actually, that was Dotrieve, number 16.
That's who.
Great play by Dotrieve, not on our two deep as a safety, but in there for Jonathan Thomas, who's out. Big play. 2nd down and 10 to go. Evers in a rhythm, wants to throw again, looking for that corner route again, and that's incomplete once again. Would have taken a tremendous throw and catch to complete that one. Dotrieve again on the coverage. Big 3rd down and 10 upcoming here for Evers and co. And you got to imagine this is 4-down territory regardless from the 14-yard line. And they can pick up a 1st down without scoring. That's key. Scott defense has been tremendous with these short fields. They bring the heat off the edge. Evers throwing again toward the goal line. There it is. Touchdown, Jaguars.
Yeah, that's a nice crossing route. They've been trying to hit that, and it's been there, and they just haven't connected, but a nice little throw and catch that time. I think it was Mulkey down there inside, catching it for the score, and again, a laser beam from Nick Evers.
We got ourselves a ball game here at Highlander Stadium. Big drive right there by Flowermound. They needed it, and they're back in the game. Bob Lilly Promotions on the touchdown. And the extra point is up and good as well. Let's check in downstairs with a Willow Bend Mortgage sideline report. You're home for a way better mortgage.
Yeah, Miles, I want to give you guys one more weather report tonight. It is now dropped to 88 degrees. It's still really hot out here. It feels 93. And the reason we bring that up is because you can tell down on the field the conditioning is going to be a big thing in this 4th quarter. The Scots defense specifically told me they wanted to establish physicality. It's really going to test their conditioning here with this weather and this hot environment going into this final stretch here.
Weather reports provided by a couple of the best places to eat in the Park Cities, New York Subs and Peggy Sue's Barbecue. A couple family favorites at the Dunklin household there. By the way, that drive, 52 yards, 8 plays, minute 45 off the clock for Flowermound. And we've got plenty of ball game left here, David Clark. 8:30 left on the clock here in this Sewell 4th quarter, and just a 1-score game.
Yeah, this is everything you wanted in this second game of the year for these guys, and it's going to be a big 4th quarter here. 8.5 minutes to go. You're leading by a touchdown. Your offense is going to be back on the field. I think it's important that you establish that running game again, run the clock a little bit, give that defense a little rest, and try to put together some 1st downs here, and see if you can add another score and put this game away.
Big offensive possession here. Highland Park sends John Rutledge, Jay Cox, and Ben Crosdale back to return. Flowermound with some life in their student section and on their bench. They're fired up on that far sideline. Number 1, Reagan Tubbs, 5'10 senior, ready to boot it away. And he's got a nice leg as well. That's solidly through the back of the end zone for a touchback. Highland Park always put such a big emphasis on their sub-varsity. Let's go down to Will Washington with more.
Miles, more sub-varsity success last night. Here's some scores from the JV games. The JV Gold won 24-16. Keller Holmes and Will Heinrich were MVPs of the game. Defense had 3 takeaways, and for JV Blue, a 45-0 victory. Defense had a fumble recovery for a touchdown. Hutch Crow with a touchdown, his first varsity catch last week. Big career for him coming up.
All right, Highland Park back to it. They've got an open receiver over the middle, and the ball was underthrown and intercepted. Picked off for the 2nd time in the ball game, I believe, by Clutterbaugh. And Flowermound has new life and the football.
Yeah, and a great field position again, down by a score. They just took it in the last series, and boy, this game is far from over here, and the Scott defense is back on the hook to try to put a stop to this.
Sudden change situation here for the Scots. They were just on the field for a while on that defensive possession. Just out there for 8 plays, 52 yards. Assert Capital Management on those drive recaps as they're right back to it here from midfield. Nick Evers found himself in a rhythm here recently, wants to go deep on the post route. Check that, it's a corner and it's complete. Had that one right out of the gate right there, David Clark. You could see it from up here.
Yeah, that's a great route. Had the corner kind of turned around on that one, and a nice catch and great throw again on that out route.
Nick Evers, senior star, committed to be a Florida Gator. And he's going to keep it here on the zone read. Evers with some running room. And he's right back into the Shelby American red zone. The Scots are going to need a little bit more magic here on this defensive side as Blake Bevins pushed him out of bounds.
Yeah, they really are. They're going to have to step up again deep in their own territory, the backs to the goal line, and try to turn the Jaguars away here. Jaguars have all the momentum right now.
Evers throws again. He's hot right now. Has his target. That's the sophomore Jason Welch. And Evers was really kind of in and out of rhythm in the first half, and there's no doubt right now he's feeling himself.
He really is, and I think really from about the middle of the second quarter on that he's just said, I'm going to take this game over and do what I can, and he's been running the ball well. He's been making good decisions, and he certainly has an arm.
1st and goal from the 10. They hand it off. That's the big tailback, Peyton Porter, and he's got a solid 5. Highland Park is reeling right now defensively.
Yeah, they're back on their heels a little bit. The 6 foot, 200-pound junior running back is quite a load down inside the 10-yard line here, and they're set it up to do it again here.
They keep it on the ground. Highland Park keeps him out of the end zone. Mason Gallus with the stop. Great job, by the way, by our spotter, Matthew Bryce, helping us out a lot tonight. Big play upcoming here on 3rd and goal.
Yeah, these are huge. This game, man, it just like the Scots are back on their heels here a little bit. They need a big play to maybe a couple of big stops right here to turn this thing around.
This would be the time for a turnover or a couple run stuffs right here and get the ball back.
Sure help. Get them a little. They're dragging a little bit. They need to make a play.
3rd down and goal. Evers wants to throw over the middle. Has his man. It's the big H-back. Kaden Jensen, touchdown. Jaguars were an extra point away from a tie ball game.
Yeah, that's a good play call right there. Jensen kind of releasing off of that H-back position and kind of sliding behind the secondary. Good play fake there by Evers. And found the big 6'6", 245-pound junior in the end zone for the tie, or what potentially will be the tying score here.
Kensington Vanguard sponsors our extra points. It's a big one here with Reagan Tubbs. Scots want to block it. Nearly got there, but it's up and good, and this game is tied.
Well,
David Clark, they've only lost twice here since '98, and right now Flowermound trying to make it 3 times.
That's right, and they have really come off the mat. I've been very impressed with them. They've kept fighting. They've had some severe body blows from the Scots, but they've recovered, and they are right there with all the momentum right now too.
Sure.
And the Scott, their defense is playing well. Their offense is moving the ball. And the Scots need to step up right here. This will be a good test for them. This is why you play these games like this, and be a good test for the Scott offense to see if they can match this energy that's coming from the Jaguars.
Assert Capital Management sponsors our drive recaps. 6 plays, 50 yards, 1 minute and 46 seconds off the clock on that drive, as their offense has been turning it up here of late. And really, it's been kind of a tough spot. Bobby Leidner's defense has been put in here with a couple of turnovers, putting them right back on the field. But regardless, they are hot. And Highland Park needs a sustained drive on this upcoming possession. Could start with a good kick return. A lot of good feelings on that Flowermound sideline right now. And that kick is not returnable. All right, David Clark. Need a big drive here. 6:30 remaining in this Sewell fourth quarter. Brennan Storr's got to shake off that INT.
Yeah, he really does. And you know, I think this is one of those situations where the Scots need to run the ball a little bit.
Yeah,
they just need to run the ball and kind of take over that line of scrimmage that they controlled in the first quarter and put it in the hands of your offensive line. And let's see if they go to that a little bit.
And they do. They hand it off here. That's Reeves running right side. And Christian thought he was still up across the 35. Nice run there by Reeves. I saw his dad down there, by the way. He hasn't missed many days in the weight room, Mr. Reeves. Just like his boys down there. But they're excited about Christian here as a senior.
Yeah, he's going to have a great season. And Scots don't need to be in a hurry right now. 2nd and 1, and they can milk the clock a little bit. Good time-consuming drive and take it down there and turn this game around with another score.
Nice 2nd down and 1 play here. Right into the pile. Nice job by the Flowermound defense that time. That'll be good enough to move the chains. 1st down, Highland Park.
Yeah, and that's the intention right there. He saw just enough opening to get the 1st down. Wasn't going to worry about, on that stretch play like that, you can get a loss very easily. And so just take what you can, get the 1st down, move the sticks, let the clock run.
Good job by the Scott offensive line here. And I think they've thought exactly what you thought here. 2 backs, run the football.
Yeah, I think that's the call right now.
And this is Cox coming to the near side. Cox wrapped up from behind.
Again, that's that little lead stretch play. And again, Cox got the edge, got a couple, needed one more block there. And it might have been a really big play, but still a positive play. The Scots are not in any big hurry, as you can imagine. Let the clock run. We're down inside of 5 minutes now. Nice time-consuming drive to put this game on ice.
Highland Park's got a new center in the game. It's Kennedy Reed, number 61. Storr looking to throw, lobbing this one deep. Not a receiver in the vicinity. And once again, not quite on the same page with his pass catchers.
Yeah, and he very intelligently threw that out of bounds. It was no one was there, and just get rid of it. Clock stops, though. Now it's 3rd and 8. Big play. Jaguars stepping up. If they can get a stop here, they're going to get the ball back, and they've scored 2 touchdowns in the last 2 possessions. So
they're hot. Their offense is 370 yards. Highland Park just 214. Scott's seen a big one here. Well, they go back to that illegal procedure on the deep ball to Heiss. Big turning point in the game. 3rd and 8. Let's see if they can complete another one. Flowermound brings some pressure. Storr escaping to his right. Needs to feel the pressure. He does. Brennan on the sideline, lobbing it deep. And it's caught but out of bounds, incomplete.
Oh, what a great catch by Heiss. It kind of looked like he took it away from the defender.
It was.
But that's a stop. It's 4th down. Scots are going to have to punt it away in this tie game here. 4:35 to go, and the Jags are going to get the ball back.
Flowermound trying to sneak in an upset over Highland Park. Would be kind of off the radar. I mean, they were not the opponent until Wednesday. You're trying to come into the hallowed grounds of Highlander Stadium and get a win. A booming, spiraling kick by Jack Stone goes all the way into the end zone. When they needed the Flowermound bounce, they got the Scott bounce, but that one went from the 33 to the goal line in a hurry.
That's a great kick, and I wish he had caught the punt because it would have been inside the 10-yard line. But
Coach, the Scots, sorry to step on your toes there, but the Scots are asking for some more noise from their student section. I want the same. Let's bring it, Scots.
I agree. They're trying to get them motivated. Looks like they're responding, and boy, the Scots need a stop here. Maybe get a turnover, short field, go score.
They need it in a big way. Evers keeps it on the zone read, and he's got lots of room to run. Evers into the secondary across midfield, down to the 30, inside the 30. Huge gain of over half the field, a 50-yard pickup by Nick Evers. The momentum is all Flowermound here at Highlander Stadium.
No doubt about it. What a little zone read there. The quarterback kept the ball and made a great read. Caught the Scots kind of flat-footed and hit a little crease, and he showed a little athleticism and speed right there.
Sure did.
As he outran the secondary.
They hand it off up the middle. Harrison Walton delivers the blow immediately for the Scots, number 45. That was a lot of man meeting in the hole right there between Peyton Porter and Harrison Walton, about 400 pounds between them.
Yeah. Scott's defense needs to step up here, Miles. This is something they don't want to be a witness to right here.
No, they don't.
This is not a good situation here, and all the momentum is with the Jags right now.
2nd down and 10 for Flowermound. They hand it off to Porter again, and once again, I believe that was Walton in there helping out, plugging the hole. They've got some new guys out there. Dotrieve has been playing a lot of snaps here recently. He was not one of the first 3 safeties they had scheduled to go in the game.
Yeah, it could be that thing Will was talking about, conditioning and maybe cramping a little bit. It's a hot night, and just never know who you're going to end up out there in the 4th quarter. But it looks like the Jags are working on the clock a little bit too, and they're hopefully scoring would not give the Scots any time left.
Evers throwing underneath. They need a good tackle after the catch. They didn't get it on 3rd down, and that will move the chains.
Yeah, that was a big play. That's that little inside. It's almost like a little jerk route where he starts to the outside and back to the middle. Third down conversion right there.
Needed that tackle right after the catch.
Yeah, right at the line, right at the reception.
Evers hands it off. That's going nowhere. Wrong direction. Henry Jergavan all over it. We are about 2.5 minutes away from the end of this 4th quarter, end of regulation here at Highlander. Got to put that caveat on.
Yeah, better. Might as well. I don't know that ball and try to win it with a field goal, or if they'll try to go for the score. It looks like they're going to throw.
Evers toward the end zone. It's off his hands. That was a catchable ball at the goal line. Would have been a nice catch there for number 6. That's Boston Lingenfelter. 6 receptions last week.
Well, that was a good play by the Scots. That just kind of a deflection off his hands. A good. I mean, that could have been a touchdown, Miles. That was hit him right in the hands at the goal line. So big play right here. 3rd down and about 7.
They need the Scott 8-yard line for a new set of downs. Evers stepping up, hit at the 10, close to the marker. This is going to be 4th down and very short. Jack Curtis on the stop, as this will take us under 2 minutes to play. Decision times here, as now strategy really comes into play here with what these teams want to do with their timeouts.
Boy, it sure does. It looks like it's going to be kind of a long 3, and we'll see if the Jaguars call timeout. It looks like the Scots are going to burn one. So the Scots will take a timeout to talk about this defensively. Jags got a decision to make. Do they go ahead and try to kick the field goal to put them ahead with inside of 2 minutes, or they try to convert this 1st down and go down and get a touchdown? The Scott offense has been struggling, so 3 points on this might be a huge advantage for them. So we'll see how they want to play it. The kicker's got a great leg. We've seen him knocking the kickoffs out of the goal off the end zone, and
they did have a field goal blocked.
And they had one blocked. I will say this: the snaps have kind of been low, and the holders had a little bit of trouble with those on the PATs, and so this is a big decision to make. And it looks like I'm trying to see if Evers is going to the sideline, and I think he might be.
I'm looking at the kicker there at the 25-yard line, and that is Reagan Tubbs.
They're going to try to kick it to take the lead inside of 2 minutes here against the Scots. So we'll watch Rourke coming off the edge again to see if he can get a block again, and we'll have to check out this snap. But it's right in the middle of the field, Miles. So it's really not much more than an extra point, and boy, a chance for a huge go-ahead field goal here by the Jaguars.
This would be a 28-yard field goal for Reagan Tubbs to take the lead here at Highlander Stadium. It is up. It's got plenty of leg, and it is good. Flowermound takes the lead 24-21.
Wow.
Coach Clark Dennison, 1998. Pulaski Academy 2015. Frisco Lone Star 2018. Those are the last 3 times Highland Park has lost at this venue, dating back to the last millennium.
Really, it does go back a while, doesn't it? And boy, the Scott, this has just been a strange week, Miles. I mean, they weren't even supposed to play each other this season. And on Wednesday, the game was made, and both teams have a short prep week, and this has been a game that's kind of flowed back and forth. And boy, right now, the Jaguars from Flowermound have all the momentum. They think they're going to come in here and pull off an upset over the Scots on their home turf. And boy, that may be the kind of thing that propels them to a great season in their district play.
This has certainly been a shocking second half. Highland Park was pretty solidly in control of this thing early in the game. And after that third quarter, felt pretty good about things, 21-7. Certainly with the way their defense had played. Got that late stop inside their own goal line. But since then, the Jaguars have just played a tremendous game of football, and Highland Park needs to execute here in this 2-minute drill.
In big games, your big-time players step up, and Nick Evers has really stepped up in this and kind of taken the game on his shoulders here.
Returnable kick here from the 15 on a Davidson Bogle real estate kickoff. It's Crowsdale. Crowsdale will fall across to the 40, and that's a great start for the Scots. That's exactly what the doctor ordered for this offense.
Yeah, that's a great job of just to field that punt, that kickoff the way he did, and Crowsdale was able to get a nice return. Scots have great field position. A field goal ties this thing.
Yep.
So
you got a good one in Jack Stone.
They got a great kicker, and it got a big leg. So, couple 3 first downs, and you could at least have a try at it. So we'll see how the Scots play it. They've got to protect Storer right now, and it looks like they're going to play coverage here and rush only 3. So find the open man.
Trips to the left here for Storer. He wants to throw right side. There's Jay Cox. He's quickly knocked out of bounds at the 45-yard line. We'll have our Banditos post-game show when we're done with this one.
This is something Scots practice all the time. Thursday walkthrough, they have their 2-minute offense and pretty much know the plays that they're going to run and the things that they think are going to work. And they're all prepped for that.
2nd and 5 here for Highland Park. Storer escaping to his right, throwing. He's got his man at the 45, and they say that Rossley was out of bounds. It would have been very modest gain of 1 had it been caught.
Yeah, that was good. I mean, great job of coverage by the Jaguars in the secondary. They're rushing 3. They're able to get enough pressure that forced Storer out of the pocket a little bit. So this is going to be very, very tough on the Scots to try to find that open man. It might be a time for a double move or something like that to try to get somebody in about the intermediate zone. I don't think the Jaguars are going to let anything go deep. They're in 2 deep safety look and got 5 underneath. So they're going to be tough to throw the ball over the top.
3rd down and 5. The Scots want to run it with Storer. He's across the 50. He's got a first down and out of bounds. Exactly what they needed right there, and they are now in Flowermound territory.
Yeah, 1:28 to go. Scots have a first new set of downs here. First down on the 47, and that was a good play call. Let's get the first down. And again, a field goal ties this thing, so you can play more football. So you just got to be careful with the ball right now. Throwing into coverage when you're playing coverage with 8 guys, you got to be careful of where you're putting the ball. It cannot hang up in the air very long.
Well, I'm a Scott fan, and the heart's pumping right now. 90 seconds left in this one. First down and 10. Storer over the middle. It's caught. Great catch there by John Rutledge all the way down to the 25-yard line as Highland Park has life.
They do. What a great play. What a great catch. And Storer hung in there. I thought he kind of lobbed it there a little bit. But John was right there, put those long arms out and grabbed it. Big first down. Scots are in business at the 25.
Big hands catch right there from John Rutledge over the middle. That was big. Storer going to take off. He's got running room to his right. Storr knocked out of bounds at the 16-yard line. And did the flag come in? No, it did not. Thought that might be a little bit of a late hit, but that's going to be really close to a first down. So Highland Park has pretty much an ideal situation here. 2nd and 1, 61 ticks left. They got a timeout in their back pocket, and the ball's at the 16-yard line.
Wow.
What a game.
This is the best value in sports, isn't it, right here, to pay your $6 and come to the Highland Park game. So this is fantastic. And, boy, the young quarterback stepping up right here. This is a great drive if he can finish it off.
They want to run him again. Storr up the middle. He's got a first down to the 13-yard line.
They got to line up quick. Clock's going to run as soon as the chains are set.
And a timeout is taken this time by Flowermound.
Oh, okay.
Origin Bank Original with 2 convenient locations in the Park Cities. They sponsor our timeouts. 21-24 is the score. Flowermound scored 24 the last 31 points in the game. It was 14-0 Highland Park, and it looked like they were about to boat race the Jaguars, but Brett Basil and company over there, the head coach for Flowermound, had something to say about it.
Yeah, they're 14-0 and 21-7, so I tell you what, I think that was a break for the Scots. The Jags called a timeout.
I think so too.
I think that's the situation where Randy gets them all lined up and then they spike the ball. So kind of take the down, but they don't have to do that. They don't have to lose the down here. So this is a perfect position to throw the ball into the end zone. You want to be able to, the closer you get, the tighter that back line of that end zone gets. So this will be a good time to take a shot and see if you can get somebody in the end zone. The Jags have been dropping 8 and rushing 3. It looks like they got an extra man now as a down lineman, so they're going to rush 4 here as they get inside the red zone.
3 receivers to the left of Storr. Ran into the line for a moment. Now he's going to take off and run inside the 10. Potentially a late hit there, and there comes the flag from the referee on the late hit.
Wow, that came from way away from the play, but that was Scots will take it. That's going to be a half the distance. That's going to be inside the 5.
I think it's a fair call given the proximity of the concrete to the field. I mean, Brennan Storr was pretty definitively out of bounds right there, giving himself up, took a little bit of a late hit, and the flag came in from a while back, but I think that's a fair play to protect the players.
I was just a little surprised that the guy closest to the play didn't throw the flag, but I don't disagree with the call. It was he was definitely on the chalk, and you're right, our sidelines are really tight, and they got to watch for that pretty carefully.
That moves the ball all the way down to the 4-yard line, and it's a 1st and goal for Highland Park. Randy Allen's got a lot of different options here in terms of play calls.
He does, and I wondered if he'd go with the jumbo package, but right now it's just a 2-back look.
1st and goal from the 4. They hand it to Crosdale right at the middle. Touchdown, Highland Park!
What an answer. I mean, they were on the mat, and they get up from the mat and go and score the potential game-winning touchdown there. Ben Crosdale with a great run. It looked like they ran power. Great kick-out block. Great
Here
pull.
It is in the replay.
Great pull.
Chuck Wilson leading the way, big number 59.
And no one touches Ben as he runs into the end zone for the go-ahead touchdown. What a drive by the Scots.
Huge. And the game's not over. 45 seconds remaining. Nick Evers is going to have something to say about it before we're done. Extra point is true from Jack Stone. That's presented by Kensington Vanguard. And Highland Park has a 28-24 lead here at home.
If it didn't sound so much like a cliche, Scots find a way.
They do. That's a thing.
The Scots find a way. And, I mean, their last few offensive drives were just anemic. And then all of a sudden the game's on the line and a great return to start it off by Crosdale. And that was a great heads-up play. And then he finishes off at the other end, and we're down to 45 seconds to go. We'll probably see a little bit of a squib kick here of some kind maybe, or maybe just let Jack Stone just kick the cover off of
I think you let him kick
into the end zone and let him start on the 25. So this has been just amazing turnaround. That series, I mean, it's kind of like, where did that drive come from? Because who was impersonating the Highland Park offense, and all of a sudden they just reappeared. So great job of stepping up when the game's on the line. And again, Scotty's find a way, and let's see if they can finish this thing off here in the last.
Provides our drive recaps. They went 61 yards, 54 seconds, 8 plays. Only critique, it could have taken a little bit more time. Yeah. 45 seconds and 2 timeouts left.
I don't think I could have handled that. I tell you, that was a big extra point because now a field goal doesn't do you any good to tie. So having that 28th point is huge.
And Stone swings the boot. Woo! It's another epic kickoff from the senior headed to the Big Ten. And boy, can he swing that thing.
That one hit the back line of the end zone. So,
and it's high, too.
He was... and that flag is just laying there, so that was not wind aided. But lined up, get them set, ready to go. You mentioned there's a lot of new faces out there on defense that we were really not expecting to see out there, but they've certainly done a great job of stepping up, and now they're going to get their two deep safety look themselves. Remember, the Jags need a touchdown. The field goal does them no good.
They deployed an extra cornerback. It's number 21, Philip Beetrol, first off the bench, and that's a nickel look right now for the Scots. 3 linemen, 3 linebackers, 5 DBs. Evers back at his own 15, throwing right side. That's caught. Did he get out of bounds? No, they say move the clock after the first down pickup.
Yeah, it'll be a live clock. Jaguars got 2 timeouts left. And boy, this is when you have a 4-star quarterback. You expect him to go out there and win this game for you.
30 seconds left in this one. They need to go the length of the field. Evers at his own 30, throwing down the sideline. It's bobbled and incomplete.
Man. Had a chance.
It was nearly intercepted over there. Adam Rourke would have put a crown on top of his evening with an interception there. But right now, Flowermound's still breathing. They've got a pulse here at their own 35.
Yeah, Rourke's played a great game. It'd been great if he came up with a big pick there at the end. But, boy, what a great job of defending right there. And that ball was thrown on a line, a laser beam again from Evers. He's very impressive here, and he's really showing some leadership.
Second down and 10. Evers at his own 30, rolling left. Throwing. That man was out of bounds.
He was out of bounds. The hat is off the official's head. He signaled he's out of bounds and ineligible to receive the ball. So that's not a catch. And
heart rate is still up here on 3rd and 10 with 16 seconds left. As the Scots, Coach, how many times here over those 111 wins at home did they just find a way? Did they not play great, but they found a way?
It sounds like a cliche almost now, but they do more than once, Miles, and you know they've gotten a lot of breaks, but a lot of times they've just put the game on their backs and gone.
3rd and 10, Evers over the middle. That's caught. They tried to set up the hook and ladder. The ball came out. Umpire says he's down. 8 seconds left. It's a Flowermound timeout. We're going to have 8 ticks left in the ball game. A 4th and 4, and Flowermound needs to go 59 yards.
Well, they burned a timeout there, so they'll have 1 left here. Man, this is you're right. Try to do like a hook and lat or something where you have a big play and something where you can make a catch and hope for a big play of some kind.
The Scott offensive players over here on the near sideline begging the student section for more noise. Brennan Storer leading the charge. And boy, his teammates have to look at number 7 and say, hey, when the going got tough, number 7 had the right stuff in this game.
Yeah, he really did, and give credit to the whole Scott offensive line. I mean,
oh yeah,
they took it on, and those receivers ran great routes, and when you're dropping 8, give Storer credit for finding the right guy too, and making some good plays.
This is your ball game. 4th down and 5. 8 seconds left in this one. 1 timeout for Flowermound. Evers incomplete. No flags. Highland Park will take over. They're going to win the ball game.
Wow. What a game. I'm telling you, this thing went back and forth, Miles. I mean, the momentum in this game was incredible. The way the Scots started off with it, then it was all Flowermound, and it looked like the Scots were on the mat. And I mean, you and I were both kind of had our puppy dog faces on up here, and they just stepped up, and man, what a drive there to win the game here.
We're going to have our post-game show, our Randy Allen interview I'm going to hop down there as soon as we finish up, get some post-game interviews with players, coaches, etc. And what was a thrilling victory for Highland Park here tonight at home. Did not come easy. Right now they get to call the coach's favorite play, the kneel down. And that's it. Highland Park wins it.
Scotty's found a way again, one more time here at home. The magic happened again.
An unbelievable scene here in Dallas, Texas, as Highland Park escapes with a narrow victory, 28-24 over the Flowermound Jaguars. I'm going to run down to the sideline, get in on that party. I'm going to bring a microphone, so will Will Washington. I'll see it down there as David Clark will anchor it from up here as Highland Park wins this one 28-24. We'll be right back.
Our name, Residential Capital Partners, reflects who we are and how we treat our customers. At Residential Capital Partners, we are dedicated to helping our customers build wealth through real estate. Residential Capital Partners, America's private lender.
From the excitement of Friday Night Lights to the thrill of the Texas State Fair, traditions are what unite us as Texans. For over 2 generations, Davidson Bogle Real Estate has had the privilege of carrying on the tradition of brokering land transactions across Texas. Whether you're looking to score an investment opportunity, buy a ranch, or lease industrial space, Davidson Bogle Real Estate is the foundation to get you started. Land is our business, so let us help you build upon Texas tradition. Visit us at db2re.com to kick off your land search today. And as always, go Scots!
The customer service is really unparalleled. I've never seen anything like it with any other company.
The emblem, it just says a lot. It means, hey, I bought from Sewell.
They listened to what I had to say and actually cared about my experience.
Every once in a while, you want to be spoiled, and Sewell does that.
It's not just a transaction. That's the thing about Sewell.
I will always drive a Sewell.
Discover our wide variety of new and certified pre-owned vehicles at Sewell Infiniti.
Well, we're back here at Highlander Stadium, and what a game we have just had as the Highland Park Scots score in the last 45 seconds of the game to win 28-24 over a very game Flowermound Jaguar team. And what a performance by the Scots. They had pretty much done nothing on offense for about a quarter and a half. And then when the game's on the line, the Scots responded with a touchdown drive, a game-winning drive, and then the defense held the Jaguars off there at the end, and the Scots with a huge win here at home and bounce back. So we're going to go down to Coach Allen in just a minute down there with Miles and Will. But let's look quickly at some stats while we got a second here. It was not a pretty statistical win for the Scots, as the Scots gave up 457 yards to the Jaguars, gaining 284 themselves. The Jags had 307 yards passing and 149 for the Scots. Rushing, the Scots had 150 yards, or Jags had 150 to 135 for the Scots. And let's go to Will Washington and Miles Dunklin down on the field.
Tell us what you did that last drive. Well, we got a couple of pass plays to get Brennan's confidence, and he made a couple of scrambles, but we were doing a good job of getting out of bounds and stopping the clock. We got that late hit out of bounds, which gave us a first down inside the 5. And
get a tough win. What did that teach you about Brennan's store tonight?
Well, he came through when we had to have him. That's the main thing. Is he put together a great drive there at the end, of course, with a lot of help from his teammates. But our defense played their pants off on that. We left them on the field so long that they wore down, but they did a great job of holding them all night.
Yeah,
I mean, it looked like the offense was kind of maybe a little bit out of rhythm or out of sync for part of the night, but then they really saved the best for last. It looked like they were at the end. I mean, was it you guys were kind of knocked on your heels a little bit there in the fourth quarter and just kind of, Scots find a way, I guess is what you say all the time.
Yeah, you can say that. I mean, we've done it before. Don't give us a ball with 2 minutes to go or we come back and beat you, but those guys did a great job believing and coming back and making.
Coach, a really unique situation having to change the opponent midweek. As an offensive coach, how much did that affect your game planning and practice process?
Well, thank goodness Flowermound was very similar to Horn and their defense. So our linemen were the ones that really had the most hard time getting ready for the game because they've got so many assignments. But it was a similar defense, so we didn't have too many things to adjust. But you got to be proud for your guys in 2 days turning around and getting a different opponent, a different offense and different defense. And, it's going to be a close game. They got a good football team.
Do you think a win like this with how dramatic it was at the end could really kind of resonate later on and really kind of, carry you guys forward a little bit to the next few weeks?
Yeah, I think a win is always good for your confidence. We needed one tonight. We really did need one tonight. And, we needed it so that we'd believe in each other, and we needed to come back like that offensively to score there at the end to give us the confidence we could do it. So it was a good game, good team, and I think our guys will grow from it. We're still not we're miles from where we can be, but we found a way to win tonight, and we got another really tough opponent in Coppell, and we've got to correct a lot of the things that we made mistakes on tonight.
Coach Allen, field position isn't always a critical part of a Highland Park game when you can run up the score, but today, Jack Stone punting the ball, kicking off, made a huge difference, and punting out of your own end zone. Tell us a little bit about the role that special teams played in a big win at the last minute here.
Well, field position is always important, and Jack did a great job of kicking the ball in the end zone, and we gave him the ball in the 25 every time. And then, that last drive we had, Ben Crosdale caught the kickoff and made a really fine return to the 40, which gave us great field position to start the drive. I thought Jay Cox did a fine job of catching the ball and returning the punts. I didn't see the clip they called when he had the great punt return down our sidelines. But we have a chance to be really good in the kicking game. I thought Sam Heinrich did a great job on extra points as well. So we've got a chance to have a good kicking game, and I thought tonight we did a good job with field position. But, Jack Stone's a good kicker, and we had good coverage tonight, and we needed to make all those extra points, and we did.
Thanks so much, Coach. Congrats on the win. We're going to send it over to Miles. He's over with George Wright, outside linebacker.
All right, I'm standing by with George Wright, captain, one of the stars of this game. First of all, George, I got to ask you about your chase down right over here behind us in that, what was that, I believe the first quarter, but a huge play to save a touchdown. Scots ended up getting a goal line stand there. Take us through that play from your perspective.
Yeah, I mean, in the day we had a bust. We, they were about to score. Coach Liner preaches every time, never get up on the play. The play is not over until they score or they're down, the ref blows the whistle. We kept through, we persevered, and we got that goal line stop.
George, you guys had a bunch of big takeaways tonight, a bunch of big goal line stands. Talk to me about the defense with your back against the wall in a couple of sudden change situations.
Yeah, so I think that kind of plays back to our motto this year on defense. It's our damn ball. And, yes, of course, when you think of our damn ball, you think of, like the turnovers, the picks, the strips, all that stuff, like the big plays. But also at the same time, Coach Liner always tells us it's the three and outs. It's those plays. That's the same thing as a turnover in our eyes. And on the goal line, we force them, it's first and 10. They have 10 yards to score, and we persevere, we stay strong, we got through it.
George, you played an outstanding quarterback tonight, another tremendous opponent on the other side. How do you feel like playing a couple of these offenses that you guys have seen to start this season, a couple of these talented quarterbacks, sets you up for the rest of the season?
Yeah, so before the season started, Coach as a young team, we really need. And so just doing that, and just, doing that stuff and playing those really hard teams, that really good quarterback, two really good quarterbacks, come playoffs when you play, some great teams I'm not going to name, we're going to be ready for that.
George, I got to ask you finally here before I let you go celebrate with your teammates. What was it like being on the sideline for that final touchdown drive by Brennan Storr and those running backs and that offensive line doing their thing as they came through in the clutch when we needed them?
Oh man, it's just we always trust. We always have faith in the Scots. Scots always find a way. That's the saying that goes on here. We were ready. We were watching our quarterback. We had trust in our quarterback. Defense kind of let up a little bit. We let that field goal, but we weren't worried. We had Brennan Storr leading us, and we pushed through. It was one of the biggest adrenaline rushes I've ever seen.
George, congratulations on the win. Another great game.
Sir, thank you.
All right. Over to Will Washington, who's got John Rutledge and Brennan Storr.
Got a quarterback-receiver tandem. First of all, Brennan Storr, happy birthday tonight. How did it feel to get the game-winning drive on the birthday night?
That's perfect. It's like a dream scenario. I wanted to win by more. I think it was a little too close, but in the end, we pulled out. We're a gritty team. We're not going to give up. And, I knew the second we stepped on the field and there was 2 minutes on the clock, we were going to win.
Yeah, what was going through your mind on that last drive? You have to manage the time. It was a physical game. You were running the ball a lot. What were you thinking about trying to get the ball in the end zone there?
I was thinking just be smart with the ball. I can't afford to turn it over, ball security, any of that. So we do it every Thursday. So I just went out there and I said, it's just like another practice, but, we're in a game-like situation. We got out of bounds. We did a great job of that. And when we were in bounds, we got on the ball, got the play in quick, and our coaches executed perfectly. We executed it perfectly, and it couldn't have gone better.
Really difficult to have to play South Lake Carroll last week and then come out here and play a tough home game as a young quarterback. So for you, how do you feel like tonight showed the way that you're growing as a quarterback, commanding the offense, and really leading this team?
Yeah, I think I could have, made some better decisions. In the end, we pulled it out. I think I did a lot of things good. I think there's stuff to improve on, like always. It's just growing pains, especially, we just have a lot of people who don't have experience starting and being in those roles, and we're stepping up, and it's just growing pains, and, we're going to be a really, really great team. So
let's talk about this guy real quick. Got the big touchdown on the corner route there. How much does it make your job easier having a guy like John Rutledge catching passes?
He's a lifesaver. I can count on him to catch any pass, no matter where it is. I don't even have to throw a good ball to him. He's going to catch it. He's the fastest dude on the field, insanely talented, and he's just a stud. And it's awesome having him on our team, not the other team.
Let's talk to him for a little bit. John, I was over there when you caught that corner route. Your eyes were on the ball. Did you have a really good feel of the sideline where the out was? What was going through your head there?
I had an idea. I could see the white out of my peripheral vision, but I knew I was going to be in balance because in practice, we've done that. We do it every Wednesday. We've done that exact play probably 15, 20 times. So, it's just going through motions at that point.
So what do you feel about your young quarterback here coming in here, playing 2 really tough games? What did it say about him tonight down the stretch?
Stepping up like he did is tough to do for a dude who just turned 17. This guy, 4-star, he's 18 years old, and he outplayed him 100%. He's got grit, he's got fight, and he will never give up in any situation. On the sideline, there were some kids with their heads down, and, he went by to each one. He's like, hey, we're not going to lose. We're going to win this game. We're going to win this game. Because it got blurry towards the end, but we had clear vision and we knew we were going to win the game thanks to him.
And with that, with you as a senior captain coming off the tough loss last week, trying to bounce everybody back, and I saw you on the sideline. I was just telling you, going around, getting guys excited, really being a leader. Talk about for you how you've tried to step up as a leader this season, as a captain and as a senior.
Yes, sir. I just feel like it's a role that I need to do is be the guy that's going to be there for everyone, because it's not easy to have high energy all the time. It's not easy to want to go do something, but some guys need somebody to kind of grab their hand and just let's go. And I try and do that as much as possible. I had it done to me my younger years from dudes like Chandler Morris, Braden Shager. So just try and follow in their footsteps and be a good guy.
All right, one more question. It's this guy's birthday. You got the first win of the season. What are you guys going to do tonight to celebrate?
Throw a cake in his face or something.
That's what I like to do. We're going to let you go do that right now. Brennan Storr, John Rutledge, happy birthday, Brennan. Miles Dunklin is over there with Adam Rourke.
Hey guys, standing by with one of the defensive stars of the game, Adam Rourke. And Adam, I sung your praises during the game the whole time. You played terrific out there at corner. First off, I just want to ask you about your individual game as you had a couple pass breakups there on defense.
Yeah, I think you just trust your technique. And last week was rough for the entire defense, but facing those guys, we knew it was going to make us better. And facing these guys. They weren't bad, but they weren't the D1 talent we faced last week. And so you just trust your technique day in, day out. You try to get better every day, and that's what we were able to do, and it shows on the field.
Ask you about the rest of your defense here. You guys had some huge stops, a couple turnovers, especially in sudden change situations and with your back against the wall defensively. How much confidence does that give you going forward that you know you have that in your back pocket?
Yeah, it speaks to the defense as a whole. Nobody tries to step out of their lane. Everybody does their job, and we'll be good. We'll be good as a unit, and it gives us confidence going forward. We know, we had backed up George. George made a great play on the end, and it saved. They didn't score, So it's just everybody does their job. Play the next play. You're gonna bust, but it's just about how you respond. Don't think about the next play. Have a short memory. That's what we always preach at corner. And it's how you bounce back and how you respond. Game of up and downs, and you want to be up more than you're down.
All right, Adam, speaking of that tackle over here by George Wright, you put an exclamation point on that stop with a block kick. Tell us what happened on that play.
Yeah, found out we had a new opponent. The first thing I always do is I look at their special teams, because I feel like that's an underrated way to really, break a game, blocked kick. We always say everything's points, whether it's a PAT, a field goal, it doesn't matter. So, within the first 30 minutes playing them, first thing I did was pull up their special teams. First look at their punt, then look at their field goal. I noticed their right wing, he wasn't really disciplined. He was sliding his foot. I knew that. I was telling Coach Bean to send the block off the left and I'll get it. And the opening was there, laid out, got my left hand on it. And, it was a game-changing play because we won by 4, but they probably kick the field goal down there if they make that one.
Yeah, huge play for you, Adam, and for the defense there. So I got to ask you about being on the sideline as Brennan Storer, the birthday boy, led those guys down the field for that game-winning touchdown.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, I was just catching my breath on the bench. But, I have faith that those guys are going to score. We go against them in practice every day. And, we see them. They were struggling a little. But, we have faith as a team that I knew that they were going to get it going. I was just thinking, we were already making defensive adjustments before they scored, knowing they were going to score a touchdown, how we were going to stop Flowermound when they came back out.
All right, one last thing. How are you going to celebrate? Where are you going to eat after the game?
I think tradition is Whataburger. I don't really know. Last year I couldn't drive, so I never really got on that trim. I think it's Whataburger, so that's the plan.
All right, that's a young guy right there. Just got the driver's license, one of the heroes of the game on defense. Back over to Will Washington, who's standing by with Jay Cox.
I'm here with running back Jay Cox, guy in the end zone again tonight. First, Jay, we got to get this out of the way. This doesn't happen a lot. Sports Center top 10 last week. How did that feel, and how many people have come up to you this week asking you about that?
Oh, so many. It was a childhood dream that I just watched it, and I was like, oh, what if that was me one day? And then it actually happened, and I was mind blown when I saw it. Brennan sent it to me, and I was like, no way that is Sports Center top 10. I thought it was some knockoff at first, and I watched a video, and it was just it was crazy. In the middle of pre-cal class too, and I was kind of going crazy, but it was so much fun, and just a childhood dream come true.
That's awesome. Still focusing on school and Sports Center top 10. So I was telling you tonight, I'll make sure I get the numbers right. So against Southlake, your touchdown reception, 51 yards. Tonight it was a 46-yard reception. So very similar. Pretty rare as a running back having those big receptions. So what's allowed you to do that in this offense?
Definitely the going empty, going no running backs in the backfield. They've known that I can be a good receiver just as a running back, and so they saw that in me. So I split time with slot receivers and running backs in practice just so I can get those reps and for one-on-ones. And so when I go in there, I feel really comfortable and not out of place, which is really nice.
How did the touchdown tonight compare with the one last week? I mean, both were long receptions. How are they different?
It felt very much the same. It was just catch the ball and get to the end zone and just keep running. You always got to think there's someone behind you, so you just got to keep running, and that's what I was thinking the entire time. And then you get in the end zone, it's the best feeling.
One of the things you told me before the season that you really liked your ability running the ball on these zone running plays, but you also really felt like you were going to add value coming out of the backfield, and you've delivered so far. How do you balance as a running back being really good, running those zone classic Highland Park running plays, but also making sure you have that receiving element to your game?
Well, I think at a young age, I've always done kind of the receiver 7-on-7, and that's what I do in the offseason. That helps me so much as a slot receiver, and also as a running back, just getting those reps, getting the inside hole with the lineman, and just doing both those things and trying to maintain both and having being good at both is just really important. And just making sure that it's a lot to memorize and know your plays, but as soon as you do, it's so much fun. So
a couple more for you here. That last drive was just huge, and you go down with the field goal, not a lot of time left. Some young guys on this team, including your quarterback, Brennan Storer. What did it say about where this offense is headed with that drive tonight?
Oh, we're just getting started.
And, it's going to be fun to see, especially the young ones, continue to play this year and next year, and also get to see the seniors finish out the year. But we're just getting started, and it's going to be so fun. It's going to be a ride this season. It's going to be fun.
Okay, one more question for you. You got the first win here of the season here in the front of a huge home crowd at Highlander Stadium. What are you guys going to do tonight to celebrate?
Just probably celebrate as a team. It's Friday night. Got the long weekend ahead of us, so just go have a fun time as a team.
It's a Jay Cox running back-to-back weeks with touchdowns. We'll see you later. Miles, we got taken away. He was with Jack Curtis, but we're just going to close it out from Highlander Stadium on the field right now.
Yeah, Will, so I guess I'll ask you if you got any final thoughts here on the field at Highlander after an exciting 28-24 victory here for the Scotties.
Now, well, first of all, there's nothing like doing these interviews after a win, right?
They're a lot of fun.
So much fun seeing the guys. They're having a lot of fun. My big takeaway, I think that last drive, I don't think you can say enough about it. I think Brennan Storr, for them to go down 3, not a lot of time left. That was a tough drive. He took some hits. He was running the ball, also having to throw it around. You could tell what that did to this team. I really think that last drive could elevate this team into the rest of this season.
Well, I think you make a great point there, especially for the offense, the confidence, talking to the guys down here, listening to them say, we had no doubt. We knew they were going to go down and score. But it's one thing to have that confidence. It's another thing to see it demonstrated, right? That's how you build real confidence, as you demonstrate ability. And they demonstrated the ability to go down and win in winning time, in the clutch right there. And I think you also got to give a lot of credit to the offensive line, because a lot of that drive, I think, was on the backs of the big fellas there, being able to run between the tackles, those quarterback draws, and then finishing it off with Crosdale there. So I think the offensive line grew up before our eyes there too.
Yeah, they got 3 running backs that can do damage. So I love seeing that. And then talking about the defensive side of the ball, holding them to a field goal down the stretch there is huge. Coach Clark was talking about George Wright's game-saving tackle.
Huge.
That was a game-saving tackle now that you look back at it. So that was huge. And then I just don't think you can say enough about Adam Rourke tonight. He was
tremendous.
All over the field. He was phenomenal. I'm really glad you got to interview him because he just had an incredible game. So these guys are coming together. There's some young guys. Really tough to start with South Lake Carroll and then have a team that you didn't even know you were playing a week ago. And I was asking Coach Allen about, did you have to change the game plan? And he said it would be hardest on the offensive line. So
Wow.
for them to come out on that last drive like that, it says a lot about where this team's headed.
Well, they are headed to Coppell next Friday. We know that for sure, before coming back home to take on Rockwall before district play begins. We have, as usual, so many people to thank for these broadcasts. Let's start with everybody in the truck, led by Fred Garner and everybody there. Of course, David Clark up in the booth. Will Washington. My name is Miles Dunklin. 28-24 is our final here from Highlander Stadium as the Scots get the victory over the Flowermound Jaguars. We'll see you next week. Good night and God bless.
Our name, Residential Capital Partners, reflects who we are and how we treat our customers. At Residential Capital Partners, we are dedicated to helping our customers build wealth through real estate. Residential Capital Partners, America's private lender.
If you're looking for the definition of service, I'm sure Sewell's name is in the dictionary of service.
Discover our wide variety of new and certified pre-owned vehicles at Sewell Cadillac.